1992 proved to be an eventful year in the National Hockey League. Mario Lemieux led the Pittsburgh Penguins to their second consecutive Stanley Cup, and a big season for Brett Hull. He scored 70 or more goals for the third season in a row. With the good, there always seems to be some bad. And for the National Hockey League, it experienced its first ever players' strike in its 75-year existence.
But also a strike that could jeopardize the start of the following season.
The league's image also suffered when hockey's most recognized rookie was traded to not one, but to two teams in one day before finally landing in a Philadelphia uniform. And the career of the great one, Wayne Gretzky, was put on hold because of a back injury. His hopes of return probably a couple of weeks into 1993. It was also out with the old and in with the new as John Ziegler said goodbye while the league ushered in a new era and a new leader. Expansion arrived with a reacquaintance of old friends, the Ottawa Senators, and some new faces in Tampa Bay, including Manon Rhéaume, who appeared in a preseason game for the Lightning. The Stanley Cup belongs to the Penguins, theirs to defend in '93. But a team they cannot overlook, the club Pittsburgh beat in the finals, the Chicago Blackhawks, a team led by one of hockey's most gifted players, Jeremy Hrivnak. Today, Hrivnak and the Blackhawks travel to the nation's capital in an ESPN special presentation of National Hockey Night. From the Cap Center in Landover, Maryland, it's the Chicago Blackhawks and the Washington Capitals. Well, after New Year's Eve and all those football games, you probably need a little ice for your head, so here we are. Hello, everybody. Gary Thorne, Happy New Year. Delighted to have you with us here on the second day of this new year. And we've got a good matchup for you. A Chicago Blackhawks team that went to the finals against Pittsburgh last year started out 9-9-3. Then they have turned it around to go 13-5-1. They are number one in the Norris division. Jim Schoenfeld, Happy New Year.
Gary, thank you. Happy New Year to you. Folks, Happy New Year.
And how about the turnaround for Chicago? How come?
Well, you start with the number one guy. You start with your goaltender. Belfour had a terrible start, winning only 2 of his first 10 games. He's gone on to win 15 of his next 20. Larmer's production was way down. 5 goals, 22 games. Steve Larmer went on a tear. He scored 16 goals in 16 games. Hrivnak, Chelios, always reliable. Their production is still up.
Talking about Chelios, a defenseman, we're going to talk a lot about defensemen today for the Washington Capitals. This team, unlike most teams in the National Hockey League, their offense is generated by their defense.
They do it so well. Power play, jumping up, joining the rush. Most notably, Al Iafrate. The biggest shot in the National Hockey League, over 100 miles per hour. He gets it away hard, and he gets it away quickly.
And he's not the only one. They really have shortened their bench. Terry Murray, the coach of the Washington Capitals, really uses 4 defensemen, and that's about it.
Well, you have Johansson, you have Hatcher, we mentioned Iafrate, and Cote. Any one of these guys can score. They are the big reason the Washington power play is number 1 at home and number 3 overall.
We're going to get to see that today. These are 2 rough, tough teams who can really fly on the ice. It's the Caps and the Blackhawks coming up. We'll do that for the face-off. First, back to Tom.
All right, Gary and Jim, thank you, and Happy New Year to everyone. Welcome to National Hockey Night, or Lunch in Landover, as we call it here. We'll get to the schedule for the rest of the day on ESPN, kicking off with the Caps and Blackhawks next. And then after a hockey game at 3 Eastern Time, live college hoops, Michigan State at East Tennessee. 5 Eastern Time, a reprise of the 92 Senior PGA Tour. Sports Center at 7 Eastern. NFL Prime Time at 7:30, wrapping up the playoffs today. And the Peach Bowl, live from Atlanta tonight, Mississippi State and North Carolina. That's at 8 Eastern Time. Joining me, as always, Bill Clement and Al Morganti. Happy New Year to you guys.
Thank you.
Bill, we got 2 of the finest teams in the league. What to look for today?
Well, you like hitting?
Yeah.
You came to the right place. It should be a big hitting game. The one thing Chicago has to watch out for is penalty trouble, especially against Washington's power play. It's a power play that has a bread and butter setup, and it revolves around getting the puck down low. How do they do that? Well, even if the puck is up high, in this case, Hatcher to Johansson. Johansson looks to get it to the sideboards and then get it down low. Johansson to Pavanka. Once they get it into Hunter, this is down low. This is where they want it. He's got 3 options now. First one is right through the crease to Kristich, but in this case, Gary Galley of the Flyers has it sealed off. Second option, back to Pavanka. Third option is the one he picks. Move out himself to try to score. Flyers stop him on this one, but they go back to it in the second period. 4-on-3. Look who's quarterbacking, not the guy with the puck. Pavanka is signaling to Hatcher to get it down low. Get it into the corner. That's exactly what Hatcher does. Hatcher to Kristich, and watch how quickly Kristich here turns it around. I mean, he doesn't even stop it. Rifles it through to Pavanka, and they score. The problem for penalty killers is if you drop back down on this situation and collapse back down low to take that play away, the big cannons are back there on the blue line. So it's probably they got attack from every area.
So the Caps have their power play revved up. Maybe their best shot to beat the Blackhawks, the way Ed Belfour is playing in goal and the way the Blackhawk defense is playing in front of them. The Capitals and the Chicago Blackhawks. ESPN's National Hockey Night, a special matinee edition, continues in a moment.
Stanley Cup, hockey's glorious finale. This is your ticket to the greatest moments from the 1992 playoffs, including Pittsburgh's amazing streak as Mario and the Pins raise the cup again. To order the 92 Stanley Cup video for $19.95 plus shipping, send check or money order to this address, or use your credit card and call 1-800-238-4000.
Behind the big deal, 1-4-1, goals against almost 4.5. Since signing the big deal, 16-5-3, 2.04. And Al Morganti, Ed Belfour is really earning that $1 million.
Sure, he's one of those guys who got the big money. Instead of figuring out how to spend it, he figured out how to earn it. The other thing about Ed Belfour, he says he's not a show goalie, not a real Showtime goalie, not a great style that you say, hey, everybody, play goal like him. To me, he's a show-me goalie. He shows you he can do it. 5 shutouts already. He's not pretty. He just stops the puck, baby. The other thing with the Blackhawks, in front of Belfour, 27 shots a game against them in a league which has gone crazy with offense. That's impressive. I don't think it's coincidence that the two Sutter brothers have the teams with the fewest shots on net, Boston and Chicago, as coaches.
We'll be watching Ed Belfour and his teammates this afternoon at Capitol Center in Landover, Maryland, where the Blackhawks are set to face off against the Washington Capitals. We'll be back in the intermissions. Now let's go to Landover.
This National Hockey Night special is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old, get into the cold. And by Subway, the place where fresh is the taste.
And welcome, everybody, to the Cap Center in Landover, Maryland, as we get set for ESPN's National Hockey Night, our noonday edition. The Washington Capitals, their biggest offensive output yesterday against the New Jersey Devils. The game they won by a score of 9-2, and the Chicago Blackhawks coming in #1 in the Norris Division. You take a look at the numbers for Ed Belfour, who is going to be in net today. You're looking at the #1 goaltender in the National Hockey League, goals against, save percentage, and shutouts. Jim Hrivnak is going to be starting. The 24-year-old who's the backup goaltender will be in net for the Washington Capitals. Don Beaupre has started 27 games. Hrivnak has appeared in 18. This is 19th. Paul Stewart on the drop of the puck, and we are underway as the second meeting of the season between these two teams. The Capitals won the first one 4-1 at a neutral site game in Indianapolis. Cote had it knocked away. Sutter picks it up, and the Blackhawks dump it in. Hrivnak going back to get it. You'll see lots of checks in this game if these teams play their normal pace. They love to hit. Chicago's noted for it. Hunter moves over, gets a piece of Chelios. The jam up along the boards. 26, that's Jocelyn Lemieux getting his nose into that one for the Blackhawks. Pat Elenick drops it. Sylvain Cote, and a save made. Little trouble with it. Belfour hangs on, and there you go in front of the net. These two teams will try and establish some superiority in landmines early.
Started a big hit. Cavallini had Sutter coming down the board. Sutter lost control of the puck a little bit. He put his head down to pick it up. Cavallini let the message be known that the Capitals have come to play. And I think we'll see a lot of pushing and shoving in front of the goaltenders in the corners on a lot of whistles. These are two very intense, competitive teams. It should make for a very exciting game today.
Jocelyn Lemieux has that shin guard on. He's got 120 stitches in his lower lip.
Ow!
Yeah, they have sent the tape of a cross-check that he took in the Detroit game by Konstantinov that caught him right on the mouth. And there's no ruling, obviously, yet by the league on whether any action will be taken. Blackhawks thought there wasn't even a penalty called on the play.
Right.
So he's playing today, but he's got that guard on in order to protect him a little bit. Michael Pavaka on the faceoff that'll be won by Christian Ruutu. In behind the net, played by Brian Marchment. And held in the zone by the Caps momentarily. Lost again to Marchment. Marchment pushes it to center. Kelly Johansson intended for Hatcher. Greg Gilbert picks it up on the near side. Both these teams like to fly and try and pin the opponent in. They're both very good forechecking teams, just like that. Centering pass. Reflects to the corner. Over to get it is Dirk Graham. You'll hear a lot from Graham if there's any pushing and shoving. Peter Bondra to Kelly Johansson. Johansson gets it out. Right back in by Russell. Played at the side of the net by Jim Hrivnak. Hrivnak leaves it off, just underway. If you are just joining us here, we'll have about 15,000 on hand for this noontime game after they played home yesterday. Washington Capitals at home have not lost in their last 7 games now. And you see the hitting going on at center. Jones sends it in, knocked down by Belfour, and played in behind the net. Washington Capitals red hot here. They're 7-0-1 in their last 8 games played here at the Cap Center, where on the season they have gone 10-6-2. Did not start out well at home, but they certainly are playing well here now. Jam up in the far side corner. Iafrate, Cote pushes it around. Goulet comes over, frees up the puck. Cote got it back, then lost it. Michel Goulet out on the ice. Defenseman moving in. Both teams will send defensemen in. Frantisek Kuchera that time came down to the point. Let's see if he gets caught. Breaking up right side, Miller. Miller's got Ridley in the middle. Miller the shot. Score!
Well, you mentioned Kuchera going in. He's hustling back, trying to make it a 2-on-2. Tichy plays it pretty well. We're coming down the ice. You see Kuchera at the left of your screen coming back. It's a 2-on-2, and the goaltender's got to stop that puck. That shot beats him 5-hole. Belfour is out challenging the angle, and he's got to just stay on his feet as he's going down. The puck beats him 5-hole. Not a good goal for the Chicago goaltender.
Kelly Miller gets his 12th goal and his 26th point of the season. And the Washington Capitals, with a second-best offense only to Pittsburgh in the National Hockey League, have taken a 1-0 lead. Jim, one of the matchups we see today team-wise, you got the number 2 offense in Washington and the number 1 defense in the Chicago Blackhawks.
Well, you mentioned also about the defensemen from both teams wanting to join the rush. I don't think early leads are going to be a major concern because both teams have the ability to have defensemen join the attack. If they get down a goal or two, they can get it back. It's going to be a grinding, hard-working game. I think the team that wins the battles along the boards and in the corners and makes the fewest mistakes in their own zone is going to be the team that wins the game today.
Well, Washington on top early here, 1-0. Cote behind the net. The goal at 2:06. The 12th by Miller, Kristich, and Hrivnak, the goaltender, picking up the assists on that. He's got to like that to start a game. They don't get many of those in the course of the year. Deflected into the zone. Chris Chelios goes back to get it. You'll see a lot of ice time for Chris Chelios. The Chicago Blackhawks are short 3 defensemen. Kravchuk, Keith Brown, and Steve Smith are all out. They are all regulars. They're all injured. Don't take 3 regular starters along the blue line out of there and not be hurt by it. Kristich holding on to Marchment. No call on it. Paul Stewart, our referee, the Massachusetts native and former professional hockey player, was out there on the ice with stripes on today. Into the corner, Krieger cleared back to center ice as the Caps are changing. Hatcher's got it. Good hit on Kristich on the far side as he got level. Moving in, Hatcher, another defenseman. Hatcher sends it up along the boards to Alan May. Alan May had 2 goals against the New Jersey Devils yesterday. Only has 4 goals on the year. Picked up again by Todd Krieger. Paul McDermott brings it in, but he's offside. From the Cap Center, Capitals 1 and the Blackhawks 0. Chicago Blackhawks are one of only 6 teams in the National Hockey League to outscore the opposition on the road. Shows up right there.
You have to play good defense on the road. That's what the Blackhawks have going for them. They're the stingiest team in the National Hockey League. As you mentioned, only 107 goals allowed. When you're on the road, you aren't playing a fancy game. You want to get the puck out of your zone, get on the attack, and counter. The Blackhawks do that very well.
That one wide of Hrivnak on the shot from the right point, taken by Steve Larmer, who can score. Back in front, Hrivnak will play it, bothered by Christian Ruutu. Rolls to center, 2-on-1 again. Pat Elenick near side. Hunter, Elenick, save made as it hit the post. Under the pad, they get the whistle. The second 2-on-1 break in the first 4 minutes of this game.
It looks to me like Chicago is going out of their way to hit. They want to make sure they hit the Washington Capitals, but when they do it, they're drawing themselves out of position. A good 2-on-1, a nice pass by Hunter, but Elenick is just in a little too far. Belfour gets a pad stack, post to post, and he comes up with the help of the net with a good save.
Pat Elenick, 11 goals, 20 assists, denied that time by Belfour. Belfour is right now on a big streak. 10-1-1 in his last 12 games after a 2-5-3 start. So this is the red-hot #1 goaltender in the National Hockey League in net for the Blackhawks. Shot in by Kuchera, glove down by Hrivnak. Played in the corner to nobody. The Blackhawks control that forechecking game, trying to pin it in. Dirk Graham had it, lost it. Graham comes back to get it. Sends it back in behind the net. Christian Ruutu. Ruutu trying to tie the puck up and hold it in the zone. Won't be able to do it. Coming over to help out was Hunter. Elenick tips it out to center ice. Chased down by Milan Tiki. Tiki's one of the defensemen filling in for the 3 injured on the Blackhawks. Hunter whips it in by Paul Stewart. Stewart takes a look back at him. That one was hit in pretty high and pretty close. Goulet just dumped it up along the boards. Dave Christian. Christian brings it in. Christian, not much of an angle. Tied up by Paul Cavallini in the corner. Woolley knocks it around to the near side. Peter Bondra trying to get it out. Does not. Chelios the shot. Tipped in front wide and covered up by Hrivnak as Brad Lauer was in front of the net looking for a tip.
The key, a quick release by Chelios. He doesn't waste any time with that puck. Get the puck towards the net. There's going to be traffic there. You might have a tip in. You might have a rebound. That one went a little wide. But Chelios getting rid of that shot quickly. He does that so well. They're going to score goals. Daryl Sutter has had a little while for the team to adjust to him. They had the slow start. We mentioned that. He's been a captain of the Blackhawks. He's coached their minor league affiliate. He won the Coach of the Year in the IHL with the Chicago affiliate. Co-coach, of course, to Mike Keenan. And I think when Keenan left and Sutter came in, you have 2 very diverse styles. And it took the players a while to adjust to the different style of the Daryl Sutter. Yep. They're adjusting very well right now, Gary.
Good point, Jim. That certainly has affected the season. And, of course, Keenan's now gone. He'd moved up to take the GM spot alone, and since he's left, and the word is he'll show up in Miami for the expansion team down there as their GM when all is said and done, but that is only rumor. But
I'm sure he'll show up somewhere.
He's smiling when the rumors passed around, I'll tell you that. Pavanka in behind the net, chipped around to the near side. Blackhawks trying to hold it in the offensive zone. Lauer spinning, tied up by Pavanka. Cavallini moves in, pushed out in front by Lauer. Marchment stepped up to hold it in for the Blackhawks. Pavanka finally gets that out to center. Caps are leading here 1-0 over the glass. And into the seats. Cap Center, Landover, Maryland. Great to have you with us on the holiday weekend, and now we got one going, maybe. Brad May for the Washington Capitals is their primary fighter, and Stu Grimson picks up as many penalty minutes as anyone in the National Hockey League. Brian Murphy and Scott Driscoll, the linesmen. Separate them. We'll see if anybody gets the instigator when we come back. But we're going to have at least 5 for fighting on these 2. Capitals leading the Blackhawks 1-0.
Both of these.
1 for roughing, 1 for high sticking. They each get 5 for fighting, so no advantage.
Going to look at the Chicago scoring line. Jeremy Roenick, great speed. He can stop on a dime turn. He has the courage to go to the net. We've already mentioned Larmer, his scoring prowess as of late. And Goulet is coming into his own. He's been a great scorer his whole career. He had a slow start, but I think he may have a strong finish, Gary.
Well, I'm afraid he gets it out. That's the man to keep an eye on. 34 for the Washington Capitals. Their star right now. Kristich brought it in offside as he got grabbed from behind, and that caused a little dangle along the line. Good quality player, Dmitry Kristich, who missed 20 games with an injury at the start of this season. They really missed him because he has come on to score 11 goals and 8 assists in the 20 games he has played.
Well, these teams are so different. You look at the Capital bench, and they spread their scoring out amongst their whole team, including their defense. Chicago, at this point in time, they have a Larmer scoring goals. They have Chelios from the blue line. They also have, we mentioned, Goulet and Roenick, and that's about it. The rest of the producers are way down.
Into the middle, Kelly Miller again. Miller, a shot through a screen, didn't get in. It hit Ridley in the wallet. Miller along the boards against Marchment, pulled it away momentarily, cleared out by Larmer, and it'll be sent in. Going to the corner, Lauer didn't get there in time. Hrivnak tried to play it around, jammed up behind the net by Aya Frady. Kristich trying to dig it, couldn't, and the centering pass intended for Roenick deflects back into the Blackhawks end. Early on here, both teams playing that tough checking style. Washington's had the much better offensive chances, but not a lot of them. Sutter's shot. Hrivnak standing up. Deflects it over the glass in the wide side corner. He came up straight on that one. That was headed for the right shoulder and over.
Sutter's coming along the boards. He has to catch up to the puck. It's not a bad play to shoot. It goes off the defender's stick and over the boards. You see it hit the shaft of Cote's stick. you have no angle, get the puck to the net. It might hit the goaltender. Again, you're fighting for rebounds. You have people on the attack. Anytime a shot is taken, Gary, the defensemen have to turn to find the puck. It's much more difficult to defend against a shot than it is against a pass, and you can follow the puck. It's a bad angle shot, 5-on-5, not a bad play.
Two guys on the face-off there, Sutter and Hunter, have gone to more corners than a lot of players who ever played in the National Hockey League. And both are outstanding draw men. Hunter probably a little better. He's one of the best in the league at taking face-offs. Cleared up along the boards. Hunter will bring it out. Hunter drops it in the middle. Capitals leading 1-0. Get it in the zone. Intercepted. Kuchera's got it. Renasek Kuchera clears it out the center. Kevin Hatcher there to take it away from Sutter and send it right back in. Both teams not taking chances at center ice on popping up the puck. Sutter drops it off. In shot Larmer. Larmer had it blocked by Hatcher. Larmer picks it up himself. Jocelyn Lemieux, picks it up himself behind the net. Lemieux trying to get it back out onto the point to Marchman. Marchman a centering pass deflected wide. Hatcher went down on the ice and it deflected off him. Bobby Carpenter, the cap, can't get it out of there. Held on near side corner by Greg Gilbert. Gilbert, the former Islander, tried to center. A little bit behind the center man coming in, and that was Dirk Graham. Both teams will change it up on the fly here. Belfour back to get it. Here's Graham on the near side. Drop pass at center, picked up by Pavonka. Pavonka sends it in. Cote still tied up at center ice with Christian Ruutu. They just separate. Centering pass comes right to Ruutu. He just got up and started moving in. Christian Ruutu, 11 goals, 16 assists. Formerly a Buffalo Sabre. Now here on the ice for today's game. Cleared back into the corner. The jam up. Woolley after it. Can't dig it away. Nobody's got control. Goulet's waiting in front of the net for the pass, but Blackhawks couldn't get enough of it to get it there. Iafrate chugged it out of his zone. Russell going back to get it. Kelly Miller, the only goal thus far in this one, with 11:46 to go in the first. Right side spinning is Jeremy Hrivnak. Hrivnak, the 14th leading scorer in the National Hockey League right now. As Jim said, the Blackhawks rely on him a lot. Pavonka trying to get in, got shut down, just taken out of the play on the stand-up check by Milan Tiki. Tiki, pretty good move that time, playing the man and not the puck. Back to Hatcher. They clear the zone. Belfour behind his own net. Trying to get it up himself to Jeremy Hrivnak. They go cross ice to Lauer. Lauer pinned up by Kelly Miller. Pass goes off the stick of Dmitry Kristich. Hrivnak, if he can wind up and get going, he can really fly. You saw Ridley hang on to him that time. There's Hrivnak taking it away again. Blackhawks trying to find a little room. Steve Larmer sends it in. Brad Lauer. Lauer hit by Hatcher, tied him up long enough to free the puck up. Kelly Johansson gets it out to Ridley. Ridley coming with Miller in the middle. Sutter from behind on the hit. They'll change it up. And we will get a tripping call. Penalty coming up. Power play when we come back with the Capitals leading the Blackhawks 1-0.
Power play. You have Hatcher and Johansson, both off-shooting defensemen. They can pass the puck very well. They can shoot off the pass that way. And we mentioned this Capital defense is dynamite on the power play.
Washington Capitals spread out their power play goals like they do all the other goals that they score. And they've got Peter Blondra's got 6, Hatcher's got 6, Pat Elenick has got 6. A number of players, including Iafrate, Sylvain Cote, Kelly Johansson, all have 5. So everybody gets a chance in the Washington power play. Great shot put on the far side to take Hunter down. He gets up to find a number. Kelly Johansson sends it in for Pavonka. Pavonka run off the play. Blackhawk Sutter clears it out.
The Blackhawk forwards will be very aggressive attacking the Capital defensemen. They don't want to give them time for the big shot as we watch Hatcher come up the ice.
The captain brings it in. Hatcher sends it in behind the net. Hunter on the near side. Hunter, Pavonka, Kristich up front of the power play, hits Hunter in the shoulder. Hatcher bounced on him. Short-handed effort coming the other way. Dirk Graham. Graham will take the shot wide of Hrivnak. No call on the near side as the Blackhawks were trying to break Christian Ruutu, but he got knocked down. Here's Kristich. Kristich back to the point. Shot. Bondra save. Rebound. Kristich save made. Kicked away to Ruutu, and he gets it out of the zone. 2 big saves by Ed Belfour on 2 power play chances for the Capitals. Iafrate clearing it in, hit the glass, and then went off the back of the net. Now Iafrate sends it in again. And again, it's cleared out by Kuchera. Good job by the Chicago penalty killers here. And Washington will get a final rush at it with 30 seconds left on the power play. Mike Ridley comes on the ice in the power play unit with Bondra. Bondra, Elenick. And behind Ridley from Bondra. Iafrate, they've got to get on sides. Christian Ruutu. Good job by Ruutu on the check. Cam Russell just swings it out of the zone. And it's down to 10 seconds. Woolley brings it up. Jason Woolley over to Iafrate. The Caps never got that one over. And the penalty is over. Jason Woolley back to center. Caps do not convert on their first power play. Peter Bondra, wrist shot, wide. Rebound came out deep. Brought out by Chelios just out of the box to Hrivnak. Hrivnak, Chelios trailing, gets it to him. Bobby Carpenter cut him off. Good check by Carpenter. Puck's underneath him, and Chelios gives him a little rub into the boards. He didn't like the way he was being held on to, and now Carpenter gets up, takes a cut at him.
You can expect a lot of that from Chris Chelios. He's had a mean streak ever since he came in the National Hockey League. Highly skilled, very strong, good offensively, good defensively. And if he has the opportunity to give you an extra shot, he takes it every time.
I want to remind you, after our coverage of the National Hockey League, you'll see number 17 Michigan State in NCAA basketball at 3 o'clock today. They take on East Tennessee State. Michigan State 7-1, led by Mike Peplowski, averaging 18.4 and over 11 rebounds a game. That's all coming up right here on ESPN, right after our National Hockey League. He's nasty.
He likes to play the game. He really does.
He's a quality player with great talent who picks up a lot of penalty minutes. Chris Chelios. Not this time. That was all let go. He and Carpenter. Not enough for anything to be called. 8:30 left to go in this first period. Kelly Miller, the only goal, came at 2:06 for the Washington Capitals to take that lead. Kelly Johansson around the boards out to Ridley. Ridley sends it to center. Larmer's got it. You see the Caps are not getting through center ice. That's because the checking game of Chicago is shutting down the passing lanes right now. Hrivnak trying to dump it in behind the net. Larmer back there with Goulet. Goulet's got it. Michel Goulet's centering pass is blocked right back to him. Down goes Hrivnak. Down goes Hatcher. Puck still in. Shot Larmer and a save by Hrivnak on the backhand shot by Larmer. Jeremy Hrivnak thinks he's getting held on to a little too much, and he went back after Kelly Miller.
Hrivnak looks very confident. A couple of shots. He's just standing square, staying up. He's not leaving his feet too early. Could be in for a good game today.
Offside as it's brought in at center by Stefan Matteau. Hrivnak's not had a lot of chances this season with Don Broperry playing as well as he is. Hrivnak's 10-4-1. That's a pretty solid record for a backup goaltender.
It really is, and I'm looking at this Capital team. I know they came off a big win against New Jersey Devils, a divisional game. The intensity's high. Terry Murray may have a little difficulty getting them into this game early. You see some of the passes. They just aren't sharp enough. They aren't jumping, and they're being out-hit by the Chicago Blackhawks, although they do lead the game 1-0.
Marchment's got it. Remember, this Washington Capitals team is averaging 4.10 goals a game. He said second only to Pittsburgh. So when they get on a roll, they tend to come at you in waves. Chicago knows that. What you got to do is shut it down. Todd Krieger tipped it in on Belfour. Krieger over to get it. Chelios says hello and dumps it. I mean, Chelios nailed him, made him part of the glass. Cote able to hold it in along the boards. McDermott coming up. Chipped out to center. Stefan Matteau. Thank you very much. McDermott nails him. Tit for tat. Now Matteau wants to find somebody. It's Krieger. Krieger's not somebody you want to find in that situation. Around the net, Cavallini. Cavallini tied up with a stick of Dirk Graham. Comes to center. Marchment's got it. Over McDermott's stick and into the seat. It's called checking.
Well, we mentioned Chelios. He likes to play the game, and he likes to play it hard. Krieger's going for the puck. Great strength and balance to finish a guy that hard. And Chelios is one of the few guys that can do it.
Delighted to have you with us here as the Capitals on Kelly Miller's goal have a 1-0 lead, trying to keep their 7-0-1 mark alive at home. Chelios will pick up yet another road win for the Chicago Blackhawks. The Blackhawks come into this game 5th in the league overall. Capitals are 10th. Capitals, though, are 2nd behind Pittsburgh. Chicago's 1st in the North. Pavonka centering pass hit Bondra, and enough of that Belfour. Marchment clearing out in front of the net. Belfour went up, cover up.
Once again, another scrum, that little extra push. Chicago wanted to come in and they wanted to take the body today. I was talking to their assistant coach, Rich Preston. They feel that they can out-hit this Washington team. Washington is taking the attack, and they're countering. A lot of the Capital passes are long passes in the neutral zone with players going. They're going for that 3-on-2, 2-on-1. The Blackhawks are going to have to be careful not to get too many guys caught, not get too intense. If you look at the scoring opportunities, the Capitals have been on the rush, and the Blackhawks have all been offensive zone pressure. So that's got to change, too. You've got to have a better balance if you're going to win the hockey game on the road.
We're looking at Michael Pivonka. Only 6 goals for him thus far this season in 25 games. He's another they have missed this season because of injuries. He can score. Sylvain Cote knocks it down, gets it back to Pivonka. Pivonka to Bondra. Peter Bondra's shot deflected off Kuchera wide into the corner. Kelly Miller got tied up by Kiki. Back to Bondra. Bondra, wraparound shot. Save made by Belfour as he got it with a skate, holding the short side post.
A great play by Bondra and an equally great play by Belfour. Very quick. Bondra makes a good fake. He catches Belfour moving one way. He tries to stuff it. Belfour gets right back with the pad. That's a big save by Belfour.
This is the leading scorer of the Washington Capitals, Peter Bondra, 19 goals, 26 assists.
And Belfour just beats him. Kuchera a little late in getting there. Bondra very quick. Little head fake. We couldn't see it was to the right of the screen. Little head fake. It froze Belfour for a minute, but Belfour reacted very quickly to get that pad over.
There you see Peter Bondra, Terry Murray, his coach, leaning in. Hatcher's got it. Hatcher drops it. Carpenter shot wide on the short side. Elenick had been dumped by Marksman in front of the net. They're clearing house in front. Brad Lauer tried to dump it off. Far side, couldn't get it there. Caps good defensive work by Hatcher, taken away by Sutter. Hatcher and Sutter do battle. Sutter in front. Sutter tied up by Hatcher as he tried to get it on the forehand. Delayed call coming up here in the Washington Capitals. Hatcher trying to pin it up. Paul Stewart says a holding call. And so we're going to get to see the Chicago Blackhawks power play as Dale Hunter heads out for holding.
The Blackhawk power play has not been very good for the Hawks this year. They're way down. Last year they didn't have a great power play either. Last year they're 18th overall. This year they're 21st. And that's just not good enough when you have some of the highly skilled players that the Chicago Blackhawks have. You can see they're only better than Ottawa, Hartford, and San Jose. And when you compare the talent with the Blackhawks with most of the league, highly offensively skilled players should have a better power play. It's commitment and it's effort when you're on the ice. It's knowing what you're going to do with the puck before you get it. It's planning things and working. And to this point, the Blackhawks have not worked hard enough on their power play.
Steve Larmer leads them on the power play with 10 power play goals, and you drop down to Jeremy Roenick's 5, and that's surprising.
Well, and then you go from there, and who has
Nobody.
I mean, it's just not enough people producing.
You just would assume Roenick, with his great offensive skills in a short-handed situation, would have more power play goals. In fact, Jeremy Roenick last season had 22 power play goals, 4th best in the National Hockey League. But the numbers aren't up there this year.
Then he has the better part of the season, better half to get it going again.
Chelios sent it in. Caps are leading 1-0. Blackhawks first power play chance of the game. They work from behind the net if they can. Sutter wanted it back there. Chelios steps up, trying to hold it in. Iafrate found it and cleared it out. Washington Capital team, if they have a chance when they are shorthanded, they'll take off. They've only had 4 shorthanded goals this season. But Mike Ridley out there, right there, is a dangerous man in the Caps are shorthanded. He loves to sprint out of there a la Lemieux and find the puck at center and go in. Chelios working out of his own zone. 1:04 left on this Blackhawk power play. Sends it in off the glass. Bateau comes to the near side, hit by Hatcher. Kuchera clears it around. Chelios has it. Chelios, Kuchera along the blue line. Chelios could not hold it in. Kuchera got in trouble. Bateau comes to help out. Stefan Bateau sends it in off Johansson's stick. Hrivnak holds it up. Kelly Johansson cleared.
A bad dumping by Bateau. Nobody's going. I mean, you've got 3 Capitals back and no Blackhawks on the move. The puck's dumped in. It's an easy play for the goaltender and Johansson to ice the puck. You lose about 20 seconds because of a bad dumping.
29 seconds left on the power play chance for Chicago. Right between Hrivnak's legs. Kelly Johansson there to help out. Again bounces to center. Adam Bennett had come on to play the point, couldn't get it. And this is where the Blackhawks really missed the likes of Steve Smith. Kravchuk and Brown, the three defensemen who are out. Those three guys work the blue line on the power play, and they're all injured.
Absolutely. They're the guys at quarterback and bring it up. It gives you more than one player to key on bringing the puck in. You see Chicago, they're dumping it in on every rush. They're not even trying to go with an attack by passing the puck.
Yeah, no skating through center. It'll be tied up in the corner, and we're going to get a tripping call, I think, on Paul Cavallini. Cavallini looking at Paul Stewart in disbelief, wondering if it is him. And it is. And the first penalty had just ended, so Chicago's going to stay right on the power play. They'll start another one up.
You see the play coming in. Cavallini just stops up. He knows he's going to get hit by Graham, but his stick is there, and Graham goes down, and it gives the Hawk another opportunity. But the Hawks are against a very good penalty-killing unit in Washington. Last year, Washington was the best differential in the National Hockey League at a +31. That's power play goals compared to shorthanded goals against. Also the shorthanded goals you score and the shorthanded goals scored against you. And this year, they're great again. They do it very, very well. Power play, penalty killing, and a balanced attack. A dangerous team to play against once playoff time comes.
It's a very good team, all right, Jim. Balance is the name of it. Chicago did not have a shot on goal in that first power play chance. Shots are down 5-4. The shots on goal right now in favor of the Washington Capitals, who lead at 1-0. But the Blackhawks, second power play of the game, right here. Really, it ends up being a 4-minute power play because that first one had just ended. Cleared by Ridley. No. Chelios passing off to the left wing side. Hrivnak. Jeremy Hrivnak looking for a little help. Caps stay back in the pretty tight box here. It's the opposite strategy on the shorthanded units for these teams. The Caps will stay back. Gutierrez shot tipped in front by Sutter. And up to the line and out of the zone. Caps stay back in the box. They'll let Chicago's point men shoot.
What they do is they rely on the speed of the forwards to get in line with the Chicago shooter once the puck is back there. Basically, they're leaving one guy open. They're giving him an open pass. Then they quickly get in line with the shooter, making him shoot by them to one side or the other, which could be a screen. And then they go out and force the pass.
Boy, you hate what they just did on a power play. They went offside. The Peach Bowl coming up tonight at 8 o'clock. Number 24, Mississippi State. Number 19, North Carolina. This is it. It is the last bowl game of the 1992-93 year. Mississippi State 8-3, the SEC. North Carolina 7-4 for the ACC. And it is the silver anniversary of the Peach Bowl. ESPN's got it tonight for you. 8 o'clock. So get the salsa up, reopen those chips. Go at it.
A lot of different line combinations by Sutter. He's trying to get something going offensively, too. He knows his team's struggling in this department, and he's working this combination, that combination, hoping to find the right one.
53 seconds remaining on this power play. We said these teams play defense. Well, in the last 13 minutes, we've had 3 shots on goal. 2 by Washington and 1 by Chicago, even though Chicago's on their second power play here in the last 4 minutes. In the corner, Graham trying to dig it out. Did. Cam Russell at the point. Back for the captain, Dirk Graham. Behind the net, Sutter kicks it away. This is a grinded-out power play unit if there ever was one. Sutter, Graham in front. Couldn't get the shot off. Gilbert moves up. Intended for Graham. Cote clears it out with 19 left in the penalty. Cam Russell. Both teams change it up on the fly here. 2:05 left to go in the first period. Kelly Miller, the only goal thus far in this game. Christian Ruutu drops it off. Kristich is there. Kristich got a man up. Krieger. Blackhawks back. Krieger the shot. Wide on the short side on a short-handed effort. Penalty's over. The Blackhawks do not convert on 2 power play chances. The Caps maintain that 1-0 lead.
Again, the Capitals looking for the long pass through the neutral zone. They catch the Hawks standing flat-footed.
They had no shots in 4 minutes worth of power play chances. Backcourt Kucherov. Peter Bondra moves over, tipped off the boards by Kiki. And it'll be played by Iafrate. Iafrate teamed up with Hatcher. Away to Bobby Carpenter. Carpenter taken away by Sutter. Sutter in front. Goulet scores! Great backhand move to beat Hrivnak and ties this game at 1.
A bad gamble by Bobby Carpenter results in the Chicago Blackhawk goal. Carpenter has the puck just inside his blue line, off the boards and out. Pass the puck to yourself. He doesn't get it out, and a good move in front by Goulet. Carpenter's a veteran. He's been around long enough. He's got to know that puck has to go outside the blue line. If he banks it off the boards, he's going to have a one-on-one anyway. Off the boards, he would have got it. Sutter makes a good play keeping it in, alert pass, and Goulet, just a good move in front of the net. But it's all for nothing if you just get the puck out of your zone.
The 9th goal of the season for Michel Goulet, who is number 14 on the all-time list of goal scorers in the National Hockey League. That's his 518th career goal to tie this game up. Centering pass deflects. Picked up by Hunter with a minute left to go in the period. 18:41, the time of the tying goal from Goulet, and Sutter got the assists on it. And it is a 1-1 game. That's one of those back-breaking goals for the Washington Capitals to have scored against them. Jocelyn Lemieux. Lemieux bumps Iafrate, then centers. Hunter's there. Hunter tried to clear, deflected to Hrivnak. Hrivnak did not get it along the blue line. 33 seconds left in the period. Hrivnak has that one bounce off his skates on the wrong side that time. Comes to Kuchera at center. Kuchera sends it in. We'll take it back to Tom Mees at our studios during our intermission here. Morgatti, Bill Clement. We'll take a look at what's going on in the National Hockey League and also comments on this first period. Hatcher, Hrivnak on it. Chelios shot wide. Hunter over to get it. Right now, the Caps can't get it out of the zone. Held in by Graham. Graham still got it up to the point for Kuchera. Cleared out finally Pat Hrivnak, and that's going to do it. A good, strong, tough first period, as you would expect. The Washington Capitals and the Blackhawks, after one, are tied at 1. Tom Mees, back to you.
All right, Gary, thanks a lot. Michel Goulet saving the Blackhawks bacon in that first period with a late period goal to tie it up at 1. Tonight, a busy night in the NHL. Bill Clement will be along in a moment with his Magic Telestrator. Let's take a look at some of these storylines, though. You hockey fans across North America will be following tonight. Eric Lindros, hopeful of playing for the Flyers tonight in Calgary. Mario Lemieux, what can you say about Mario Lemieux that hasn't been said? Well, he might threaten the 215-point mark this season. He's already over 100. And the LA Kings, ice cold of late, winless in their last 7, including 5 losses in a row. One of them a 10-2 shellacking for the Flyers. The Kings will be home tonight against Montreal. That's all they need, right? At the end of one period in Landover, Maryland, it's the Blackhawks 1, the Capitals 1. Back with more, and our intermission continues in a moment. Bill Clement, Tom Mees in your living room? Well, we'll leave that for later. 1-1, a good period, Bill. What struck your fancy?
Well, there weren't many mistakes. As a matter of fact, there were only 3 mistakes in the first period. Washington committed 1, and Goulet scored for Chicago on it. Chicago made 2 mistakes. They got away with 1. They didn't get away with the other one, and we'll show you what happened on the play. Really, everything was going along nicely for them. Aggressive forecheck. They got 1 guy in, 2 guys in. What happens there is Steve Larmer in the circle is supposed to back them up. Now, he's especially supposed to back them up when you see what's over here. Now, this is Kuchera right here, the defenseman trying to get out of the zone. Back to his position. Larmer should have been out where the X is, backing up Kuchera. He wasn't. That really sprung the Capitals away on a 2-on-1, and you can see Kuchera, great speed, number 6 on the left of your screen, trying to catch Ridley. And Kelly Miller was the guy that shot the puck, so it was a well-played period, not many mistakes.
Meanwhile, one of the guys that may be watching this game, Mike Keenan, the deposed GM of the Blackhawks, but what's he thinking about, Al?
What's he thinking about? Maybe he's thinking about coaching the All-Star game a month from now in Montreal. He was with the Blackhawks last year. They went to the finals. He's going to coach it. In the meantime, he is still the topic of conversation around the Blackhawks. We told you that he was a leading candidate in Miami. Since then, things have gone awry in Philadelphia. His name comes up with the Flyers, perhaps to go back as a coach. When you look at the Chicago lineup, people are always saying, my God, Mike Keenan was a terrific coach. He was also a pretty good general manager. Christian Ruutu was brought in. He's doing a good job there. And under Keenan, the Blackhawks accelerated the European invasion. Chicago is one of the last teams to bring in Soviet Czech players, whatever. Under Keenan, he saw the need. He brought them in. I think Mike's going to actually get his choice here if he wants to wait for a coaching job or a general manager's job. He's kind of laughing at the suggestion that everybody you mention, it's like, oh, Keenan's going to get the job. I think he's going to lean toward Miami. I think he's going to find out he's going to be a terrific general manager there, and he will have the patience with a new club.
Keenan certainly didn't leave the cupboard bare in Chicago, did he?
No, I think we spent too much time earlier in the season examining Daryl Sutter's stability there and Mike Keenan's job as a GM. You look at their roster and just the Christians, Dave Christian and Christian Ruutu are the only changes. This team went to the finals last year, to the big dance for the Stanley Cup. They may be there again.
They may be there again. They may face the Penguins again, but a lot remains between now and late May. Well, a lot is going to go on tonight in the NHL. 11 games. Take a look at the schedule across the USA and Canada. National Hockey Night studios. Tom Mees along with Bill Clement and Al Morganti. And guys, we've reached the halfway point. We haven't been with the viewers for a couple of weeks. What are some of the mileposts?
A lot of mileposts, coast to coast, Vancouver to Miami, a new team. However, everybody's had up and downs. Nobody's singing the blues like St. Louis. The big story there, of course, is Brett Hull. On your shoulders, buddy. They're telling you, management is saying, look in the mirror. He was called in, told to start earning those bucks. Of all his goals, and he's only got 21, only 2 have put the Blues ahead in the game, discounting first goals of the game. He's telling people, you know, they're looking, maybe they're going to move him in St. Louis. Don't believe it. Nobody's moving Brett Hull. And management problems also, well, Mike Richter of the New York Rangers. They called him in and says, hey, what's going on, Mike? Here's a cheapie against Buffalo. Hasn't won since December 13th. The Rangers are really rocky. So what do? They have trouble keeping the goal out of their net. They go out and help themselves offensively. Ed Olczyk from the Winnipeg Jets ends up in New York. He'll score some goals. They kind of had to make the deal, even though they didn't really need any more goal scoring, because they only had to give up to the Winnipeg Jets a guy named Ty Domi and Chris King. Domi to Winnipeg for a guy like Olczyk? Well, they need players to protect them on the road because they're just not playing well on the road. Now watch this closely. Jeff Sanderson from Hartford, slap shot, clang. That goes off Scott Stevens. If he wasn't wearing a helmet, we could have a real serious injury. Caught him right under the helmet. And the NHL passed a rule this year, a policy that players can waive the helmet rule. And Bill, you and I argued about this earlier. I think that's just an example. They have to keep those helmets on.
I respect Scott Stevens' opinion, and he wants everybody to have to wear a helmet. That's a good point. I didn't wear one for 9 years, and I put one on the last 3 years of my career. Why? To protect my head. So everybody should have that option. Maybe it's a primitive outlook. I see the last of the great gladiators. Brad Marsh wouldn't be Brad Marsh. Rod Langway wouldn't be Rod Langway with the helmet. And it might be primitive, but I still think that players should have the option not to wear one if they choose not to.
Well, there's one point of which there's no argument. If you watch the first period today, when Chris Chelios is on the ice, friend, you better have your helmet on. Just ask Todd Krieger of the Washington Capitals, hey, Todd, look out from behind. Ouch. It's all legal. 1-1 after 1. NFL playoffs wild card weekend. Washington, well, we'll take a look inside the numbers first of all, putting the O in defense. That's right. You're taking a look at the top scoring teams for the backliners. For the Caps, 30% of their goals come from defensemen. That's something, isn't it? Now, let's update you on the playoff football game. Minnesota leading 7-zip. One thing to remember, these two teams have met in the playoffs 4 times. The winner each time has gone on to the Super Bowl. Something for the 49ers to think about. 1-1 after 1 at Landover, Maryland, between the Capitals and the Blackhawks. Back in a moment.
This National Hockey Night special is brought to you by Visa. It's everywhere you want to be.
Welcome back, everybody. Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld. We're about 40 minutes from the Washington Monument here in Landover, Maryland, where the Cap Center is built. This is the home of the Bullets in basketball and, of course, these Washington Capitals. In our Miller Lite scoring summary, in the first period, it was Kelly Miller, appropriately. His 12th from Kristich and Hrivnak, the goaltender, at 2:06. Even strength goal to give Washington the 1-0 lead. But Goulet got his 9th of the year from Sutter at 18:41. That's the goal that tied it up. And obviously, when you have one of those late in a period, those are back-breaking. Only 5 shots on goal for each team in that first period. Jimmy, let's take a look at the 2 goals scored. First for Washington.
Kuchera went in. He tried to get on the attack. He came back. It ended up being a 2-on-2. Tiki is there with Miller. Miller takes a shot, and it just simply beats Beaupre between the legs. And this is a mistake by Bobby Carpenter. You'd mentioned last minute of the period, you've got a goal lead. The Capitals had just killed off 4 minutes of Chicago power play without allowing a shot on goal. And you've got about 1 minute and 10 seconds left. You have the puck just inside your blue line. That's not the time to gamble. It put the Hawks back in the game. They had life. You watch the shift after that. They ended the period grinding and finishing their checks, playing very enthusiastic hockey in the Capital zone. So they're going to come out. It was not a good period really by either team, but certainly the Capitals' advantage. The Hawks have got to come out feeling pretty good. We're on the road against a team that's hot at home. We tied it with the last minute of the period. Let's see what we can do, boys.
Yep, they are. You're right. That goal does that for them. Washington Capitals in the Patrick Division of the National Hockey League started out this season down near the bottom of the pile. In fact, in last place for a while, the first dozen games. But now they have moved up with only Pittsburgh in front of them. And you see how Pittsburgh's running ahead of them right now. A very tough race here, though. Remember, only 4 teams go to the playoffs. In the Norris Division, Chicago hung around the third spot for the first 25, 30 games of the season. They have now moved up to first place, 3 ahead of Detroit. Minnesota's having an excellent season in third place. Toronto started to struggle. Pat Burns, their new coach, vows they're going to be in the playoffs, but they're in fourth place and in a battle right now. Paul Baxter on the left, the Sutter on the right. There is Terry Murray, the first former Washington Capitals player ever to go behind his bench, and he took the place of his brother, Brian Murray, who's now moved on to the Detroit Red Wings.
Worked with Brian for 6 years, and poor Brian was here and never really made it in the playoffs, and that's a story we've told many times when we've had Detroit. And there's Terry in his first year, and they go on to beat the Devils and the New York Rangers to win the conference championship in the playoffs. And he's done an excellent job with his Capital hockey team. And certainly his brother Brian is a fine hockey man and doing a tremendous job with the Detroit Red Wings.
Washington has had the first round blues, their 19th year of existence. They have always been a playoff team, but never can get by the first round. 8 years in a row, they've gotten to the first round and been eliminated. With that talent, you just wonder how. Sutter hit by Cavallini. And we're seeing Washington coming out with the sticks up, and they're going to get a call immediately. Dale Hunter getting up off the ice as there were 2 hits, 1 in each corner in the first 14 seconds here. And right away, you know what Terry Murray has told his Washington Capitals. They're beating you to the punch.
Cavallini with a good hit on Sutter. Sutter's coming in, and they met earlier in the game. Cavallini came up on the good side of the stick. And there's Hunter going in the corner. And we have neither one of these guys got the penalty. Cote had the penalty for high sticking, and I haven't seen it in the replay, nor did I see it when the action was going on. But Paul Stewart did, and that's why he's a referee and we're announcers.
There were 2 good solid checks in the corners, and then Cote came over and joined the melee with his stick up. So he goes out for high sticking at the 14-second mark. In that first period, picked up only total of 7 penalties, including the 5-minute fighting on Grimson and May. Now you take a look at Mike Ridley as he moves in, and the Washington Capitals going to be shorthanded again. Tipped up along the point. Cote out. Power play for the Blackhawks, who did not convert on back-to-back chances in the power play in that first period. Iafrate winds up. Hrivnak held it in. Good play. Chelios the shot. Deflected wide. Went off the stick of Iafrate. Iafrate goes down. Takes the Blackhawk with him. The puck is pinned up against the board. This is one of the most interesting characters in the National Hockey League, Iafrate. He's a motorcycle man. He's got the tattoos on underneath that jersey. He loves heavy metal. He's going to do a recording with the group Metallica after the season is over. And he's one of the nicest guys in the game. He's a genuinely good guy. Wild man.
Does the term free spirit mean anything to you?
It sure does. Larmer's got it along the boards. Chelios back to Larmer. Larmer into the corner to Hrivnak. Hrivnak, power play for the Blackhawks. They've got 1:26 left on it. Here's Chelios off the boards. Hrivnak goes to the front of the net. Larmer looking for him. Washington squeezing it down low with their 4 defensemen. Chelios shot blocked and cleared by Hatcher.
Tremendous coverage again. The Capitals are doing a superb job of killing the penalties.
Both the units for the Washington Capitals, power play and shorthanded, are outstanding. Both among the top 3 in the National Hockey League. Christian Russo near side. Gets a little help in the corners. Dave Christian moved in. Along the boards up for Chelios, but he couldn't get it. Out to center, Kuchera back to get it. 49 left on this power play for the Chicago Blackhawks, who still are having trouble trying to get this power play moving. Hrivnak to Hatcher. Hatcher clears it by Kuchera. Chicago on the road in their power play, they've had 19 of their 42 power play goals. They're 21st overall percentage-wise, 15th on the road in power play percentage. They're a little better on the road than at home, which is a little ironic. Cleared out by Russo. Blackhawks have always had one of the great home ice advantages in Chicago State.
It's a terrific building. The fans, it's so loud. The fans are right on top of you. It's a smaller ice surface for a forechecking team. It's a tremendous place to play, and that's what the Hawks have built. A strong, sound, good forechecking hockey team.
Hrivnak makes the save on the shot by Dirk Graham. 8 seconds left on the power play. There is nothing like Chicago Stadium to watch a sporting event in my mind. The tingles still go down and up my back when the national anthem is played at Chicago Stadium.
It was tremendous. I played there with the Hockey Heroes, we were called, during the All-Star game. They had a bunch of former National Leaguers, and we played a game. And this was at the time of the Gulf War. And they played the national anthem, and the flags were waving, and the banners were to the soldiers. And I'll tell you what, it was emotionally overwhelming for all the players standing on the ice. Just a tremendous, tremendous feeling.
It is unique. Held in by Marchment. Jeremy Hrivnak's got it. 3 seconds left in the power play. Shot by Cam Russell, blocked. That hurt Dirk Graham. Graham is down on the ice. The shot hit a Chicago Blackhawk. They won't stop play. Hatcher drops it off. Graham is heading out, just barely making it to the bench. He is hurt. He got hit on the ankle on that shot from his own player from the point Cam Russell hit him. Iafrate, look out. The fastest skater on this team gets a good solid check from Hrivnak. Held into the corner, though. Good play by Washington to keep it alive. Keith Jones. Jones to Hunter. The shot save made by Belfour. And a holding call coming up on Chicago. So the Capitals go back on a power play when we come back. 1-1.
Both Visa and American
The
Express.
Chicago captain, Dirk Graham, who took that shot from his own point man on the power play, still trying to walk off that ankle.
You can hear the pop up here where we're sitting. That was going at good velocity and hit him square on the foot.
Penalty goes to Gilbert for holding at 2:43. Washington 0 for 1 on the power play. Chicago's 0 for 3. The Caps have the power play here. And you see Chicago just chasing the puck. They're challenging the puck. Marchment around to Chelios. Chelios trying to clear. Deflected. Comes to Sutter. And Sutter will bring it out. Brent Sutter clears it into the zone. Hrivnak looking. Decides to stay in net. Larmer was up in the forecheck. Hunter came in and picked up the loose puck. Washington. Blackhawks. 1-1. Pavonka. Waiting. Hunter. Tried to hit Johansson on the near side point. This checking game right now by Chicago, when Washington's got the advantage, is really shutting down the Caps' power play. Catches. Hunter, a little room. Hunter, good move. Hunter shot, and he missed it. He went for the wide side post. Good shot, didn't get it on net.
Well, this most exciting part of this game, and it's been kind of a boring game, has been the penalty killing job by both teams. They've done a pretty good job of keeping the offensive team at bay, and really no crisp passing, no real good offensive flow by either team.
Ridley, tied up by Chelios, taken hard to the boards. Puck freed up. Woolley moves in. The defenseman, Jason Woolley, hits Paul Stewart, the referee. Cleared up. Woolley can't hold it in. Iafrate back covering on defense to help out. Hrivnak up on the forecheck, comes away to Ridley. Mike Ridley, intercepted by Dave Christian. Christian off to Hrivnak. Christian heads to the net. And Ridley was right there. Good job by Ridley. Back check. Ridley looking ahead. Into the middle, Pat Hrivnak. He gets stood up and knocked down. Bonds with a puck. Shot! Save made off the blocker. Belfour got it with a blocker. Pat Hrivnak in front of the net. Bondra gets hit. Ridley again. Comes to the point, Iafrate. Iafrate to Ridley. Ridley trying to back it up with a blind pass. And it's cleared out of the zone. Dave Christian there to get it. And the penalty is over. So the Caps 0 for 2 on the power play. Chicago 0 for 3. We remain tied at 1-1. Gilbert out of the box. Sends it around Hrivnak. Christian Ruutu near side shot. Right there to get it, Bobby Carpenter. Carpenter trying to clear the zone, didn't get it out, held in by Goulet. Paul Cavallini takes the hit in the corner. Cavallini, Goulet, Ruutu coming away with it. Gilbert looking, tried to shoot it in, blocked by Cavallini. Ruutu, the shot, save made by Hrivnak. Held in, nope. Marchment's got to go back to it. Well, the offense mounts a little bit here. In the corner, Cavallini puts the check on Sutter. Bobby Carpenter has the puck. Carpenter gets it off to Iafrate. Cavallini, middle of Jones. Jones starts it up for the Caps. They'll dump and chase. 14:29 to go, second period. Just as we expected, a very tight checking, hard-nosed game. Sutter sends it in wide. Looking in the front of the net. Tipped away by Goulet in front as he tried to run it in on net. Hatcher comes away with it. Good chance in front for Chicago that time. Hatcher drops it off. Kelly Johansson up ice for Krieger. Krieger, Johansson in the middle. Krieger trying to get it to him. Tipped wide into the corner. Capitals unable to set it up. Keith Jones ultimately had the chance, but he didn't get it on net. And the Blackhawks return it up ice. There's Hrivnak. 360 Savard kind of moved that time. A little spinorama. Hatcher's got it. Hatcher. Johansson. Intended for Krieger, played by Chelios. Johansson, Larmer got a piece of that as he went by. Back to Steve Larmer. Steve Larmer, the Iron Man, sending it in. Larmer to Goulet to Larmer. Larmer the move. Larmer, the shot, and a great save made by Hrivnak. Larmer had beaten the defender and got in cleanly. Larmer in front again, back to the point. Shot by Marchment, save, rebound. Larmer ran it in. Will it count? Paul Stewart is pointing yes. The linesmen, I think, are going to say no. It went into the net, but it will not count.
Definitely in off the skate. His momentum carried him to the net. The rebound was there, and he kicked the puck past the Washington goaltender, Hrivnak. The shot's coming from the point here. Marchment takes the shot. The initial save is made. There's another shot, and there's the kick. No goal. Good call by the officials. As we look at it again, just before that, what a great fake and shot Larmer put on the Washington defenseman, and Hrivnak had to come up with another great save. As the offensive flow is starting to come for both teams, Gary.
You cannot direct the puck in with your skate or your glove. It can deflect off your skate and go in, but if you direct it in, that's a judgment call for the official. It doesn't count.
And absolutely no argument by the Chicago Blackhawks.
Nope. Larmer went right to the bench and sat down. Steve Larmer playing his 841st consecutive game here. He is number 3 in the all-time list of Ironmen in the National Hockey League. I'll tell you about that when he gets back out there. Played by Cote in the corner. Cote tied up by Ruutu. Ridley comes in to help out. This game tied at 1-1. Both goals coming in the first period. Kelly Miller has the Washington goal, and he has the puck up for long. Oh, penalty coming up on Chelios. Paul Stewart waiting on the call. There's the whistle. It's going to be a tripping and an elbowing. They both may go. Chelios got in there and got the elbow up, and then I think Chelios got tripped in a retaliation.
Miller has his head down. Chelios comes, boink, there you go. Into the jaw, into the boards. Miller got up and retaliated, so we'll go to 4-4 when we come back from break.
To the new rule in the National Hockey League this season, where you have the coincidental minors. Do not replace them on the ice. Instead, they both go to the box, and you skate 4-on-4. And that opens it up a little bit, and that's what the National Hockey League wanted. So we'll see what happens here in this 1-1 game. Chelios elbowing, Miller tripping, both at 7:01. And we're going to get another penalty. We're going to have a 4-on-3 power play coming up here in a minute. Paul Stewart sensing things maybe getting a little out of hand here with the hitting that's going on and making sure that doesn't happen.
It's an accidental high stick. Prestige comes in here and his stick rides up, catches Marchment right in the nose. I think it wasn't so accidental. I kind of think it was accidental, but a penalty nonetheless. This is open. I'd like to see Hrivnak in this situation. This open ice, this is where he can dangle. Folks, take a look at number 27 for the Blackhawks. He's going to get the puck, and he'll be dancing all over the ice. He normally does in situations like this. And this is generally a great treat for the fan to watch Jeremy Hrivnak.
33 assists to lead the Blackhawks. 53 points to lead them. Also has 20 goals. There you see Jeremy Hrivnak among American-born, U.S.-born players, rather, who've had 50 goal seasons.
Being a Canadian, Gary, how many Canadians are on that list? Do we have any idea?
Too many to put on
okay,
graphic, I'll tell you that much.
Just for my friends up north, I thought I'd mention that.
The only reason that the U.S. players get noted is there aren't many of them.
But there are more and more coming every year.
More and more coming. Three-stitch out, high sticking at 7:24. A power play now for the Chicago Blackhawks, and it is a 4-on-3 power play. Hatcher tipped away. Hrivnak's got it. Jeremy Hrivnak moving in. Hatcher, a little shove. Hrivnak up to the point. He just dumped it in behind the net. Mike Ridley moves over to get it. Ridley up for Kelly Johansson, who takes no chances and clears. This period, Chicago outshooting Washington by a 7-2 margin. Shots are 12-7 in the game in favor of the Blackhawks. Michel Goulet dumped it in off Johansson. Ridley picks it up, goes up the middle, finds the room.
Why a player would ever dump the puck in 4-on-3 is beyond me. You have to make plays. You've got to carry the puck in and make plays. That's your best advantage, is to maintain possession.
Chara brings it up. Kuchera turning on Pivonka. Kuchera trying to center Larmer. Intercepted Hatcher, and he gets it out on the second try.
Hatcher doing an excellent job once again of killing penalties for the Washington Capitals.
Larmer was wide open on the right wing that side, but they couldn't get the puck through. Sutter moves in. Pivonka got a piece, but not enough. Larmer again. 4-on-3 power play. 18 seconds left on it on the 4-on-3 power play. Staying back, Tiki at the point. Kuchera's shot blocked by Krieger into the seat.
Great penalty killing by the Capitals. Hatcher, first of all, goes down in front of the net to block any cross pass. The puck has to go from Sutter back to the point. And then the forwards just keep reversing. One guy's out, the pass comes over, he goes back, the other forward's out. We get right in line with the shooter. We mentioned that before. They hurry to get in line with the shooter. The puck is deflected out. Excellent penalty killing by the Capitals.
Capitals, the second best penalty killing team in the National Hockey League, and second best at home as well. Only 14 of the 34 power play goals against Washington have been given up here at the Cap Center.
Hatcher stays on the ice. Good stamina for the big man. He's out there to kill the remainder of this penalty. It's such an advantage to have big, strong, mobile defensemen. You can play 30 minutes a game, and that's what the Capitals have in both Hatcher and Al-Iafredi.
Sent out. Chicago's had only 2 shots today on their 4 power play chances. They've got 18 seconds left now in a 5-on-4 power play. Marchment brings it in. Put away by Hatcher. Chelios the shot. Hrivnak makes the save. Here's the short-handed break the other way. Ridley's got Miller with him. That mess up along the boards where he lost control of the puck. Just enough time for Chicago to get back. And all the penalties are over. The Capitals able to kill off the 4-on-3, then the 5-on-4. And it remains a 1-1 game with 10:27 to go in this second period. Chicago unable to do anything on 4 power play chances. Al-Iafredi sweeps it up. That's going to be an icing call. Chelios will go back on the touch-up. And we'll be back to the Cap Center in Landover, Maryland, with the Capitals and Blackhawks tie. Al-Iafredi, look at this number. 101.4 miles an hour, the hardest shot for the Washington Capitals. Maybe for anybody else.
Where did he get the new helmet? That's what I want to know.
You like, that's our free spirit. Sutter took the check from Marchment, didn't like it against the boards and the Cap bench. Jones sends it ahead. Mike Pivonka. Save made by Belfour. Then Pivonka dumps the Blackhawk after the shot was taken. Paul Stewart looked over after it happened as Marchment got upended. Pivonka just reached in, pulled the skates out after he shot it.
Belfour does a good job of coming out to cut this angle down. He knows Pivonka can't do anything but shoot. He's well out, top of the crease, and the puck hits him. Very similar to the goal that went by him, only the goal went 5-hole. Belfour's down earlier, and there's a little dump. Pivonka putting Marchment down. That hurts right onto your back. Your helmet snaps in the ice. That's not fun. No wonder Marchment was a little unhappy with the lack of penalty being called by referee Paul Stewart.
To say the least. We're going to have a real treat for you the All-Star time. The All-Star game of the National Hockey League being played in Montreal this season. We're going to cover the day before the All-Star game itself. They have the Heroes of Hockey game, and they have the skills competition. The winners from each team go to Montreal and compete. And we're going to bring you that right here on ESPN. And it is a load of fun, and the guys really love it and really get involved in it. Friday night for the All-Star game from the Forum. Cleared around by Cote. Free stick. Couldn't get it. Ridley clears it out. Larmer back to get it. Told you, Steve Larmer's 841st consecutive game. He leads the National Hockey League in consecutive games played right now, and third all-time behind Gary Unger and Doug Jarvis. Unger 214, Jarvis 964. Larmer now up to 841 games played consecutively. Touch up on the icing as Cam Russell goes back to get it. And that is no easy record in this game, the way it's played, to have played in that many consecutive games.
I played 13 years. I didn't have one season where I played all 80 games, so I have to really admire a guy like Steve Larmer. And he doesn't play in the perimeters. He's in there. He's in front of the net. He goes into corners. He takes hits. He gives hits. He plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. He's well on his way to his 6th 40-plus goal season. So he's involved, and yet he's durable, and that's a big boost for the Chicago Blackhawks to have a guy like Steve Larmer in their lineup.
You see he leads them in goals again this season with 21. Jeremy Roenick second with 20. shot just wide. That one deflected off Hrivnak on the shot by Milan Tiki. Hrivnak actually had it go through him, but it was wide of the net. The chance right there for the Blackhawks. Down on the ice, Dirk Graham. Hatcher trying to kick it away to ice behind his own net. Kevin Hatcher, the captain of the Capitals, up to Bobby Carpenter. Freed away to Hunter. Chicago just gives you no room. They are on you all over the ice. There's no skating room. There are a few passing lanes. That's been Chicago's game virtually forever.
Hunter did a great thing there. Hatcher was mucking in the corner. He gave Graham a good shot. Graham got up. He wanted to take a run at Hatcher. Hunter just ran a little pick. Gave Hatcher time to get the puck behind the net. He wasn't going to get hit by Dirk Graham.
Blackhawks change it up. Kelly Johansson sends it in. Game tied at 1-1. We've had no scoring here in the second period. First period, Kelly Miller at 2:06 and Goulet at 18:41. At center, Blackhawks move in. Nobody on the near side wing, and the drop pass by Stefan Matteau. Carpenter the other way. Carpenter turned by Chelios. His pass intercepted and not out of the zone yet. Marchment moves up and gets it out. Then Marchment gets hauled down. Pat Elenick gets away with one there. Pat Elenick gets up, gives the bump to Jocelyn Lemieux. Sylvain Cote got tied up by Sutter that time, and there's the Blackhawks sending it in. This could be an icing. Cote, no, they wave it off. Played along the boards. McDermott couldn't get it out. Cavallini will come back to get it. Cavallini to center. Up for May. Alan May, 2 goals yesterday. May got tied up by Marchment. Marchment moved in, drove him off the puck. Here comes Hrivnak. Hrivnak taken away by Cavallini to Krieger. Todd Krieger intercepted Chelios, comes to Hatcher. Hatcher moves in. No time to wind up and shoot. McDermott sends it into the corner. Hatcher, Chelios still there. Behind the net, May. May's reverse pass right on the stick of Chelios. Chelios gets it up to Jeremy Hrivnak. Hrivnak up ice to Larmer. Steve Larmer, the move. Nope. Johansson denied. Johansson just reached in, took it away. Larmer went into the boards hard behind the net. He's all right. Went in on his own. McDermott brings it up to Krieger. Krieger, screen shot, deflected off Tiki. McDermott behind the net, covered up the side of the net by Belfour. And this is a real taffy pull, a defensive battle right now. Our next National Hockey League game here on ESPN will feature the New York Islanders, very much in contention for a playoff spot in the Patrick Division against a Buffalo Sabres team that really put it on the New York Rangers 11-6 this past week. They're led by Pat LaFontaine, second in the league with 67 points, second only to the man who's already gone over 100, Mario Lemieux.
Absolutely incredible. What Lemieux does to this game is absolutely incredible.
He's on his way to breaking Wayne Gretzky's all-time record for points in a season.
Whether he breaks it or not, I don't really care. I would just like to see him stay healthy the rest of the year to have an opportunity and see if he could break Wayne's record. I mean, 2 absolutely terrific hockey players. May the best man win.
Off the face-off, Pavonka won it. Back to the point, Hatcher. Kevin Hatcher centering pass knocked away by Belfour. Graham clears it out. Back come the Blackhawks. Greg Gilbert in the middle. Centered shot, score! Great setup for the captain, Dirk Graham, and the Blackhawks have a 2-1 lead.
A close checking game definitely to the Blackhawks' advantage. They have 3 regular defensemen out of the lineup, so the less the Capitals come at them in droves, the better. There the puck was to be dumped in, hit a Capital defenseman. It goes to Ruutu. An unfortunate break for the Capitals. Ruutu, the little pass over to Graham, and Graham has an empty netter. Had the play work the way it was supposed to. It was a cross-ice dump in, but it was blocked at the blue line by the Washington Capitals. Went right onto Ruutu's stick. Ruutu to Graham, and it's 2-1 for the Blackhawks.
Dirk Graham stays out after getting his 12th goal of the season. Pavonka to Bonga. Belfour came out and poked the puck away with his stick. It was going to be a 2-on-1 play, and the goaltender, Ed Belfour, decided to take the chance. Came out and it worked. Ruutu the shot, blocked by Hatcher. Nice setup by Ruutu on that goal. Gives Chicago the lead. Jones pinned up along the boards, comes back to Hatcher. Hatcher gains the red line, sends it in as they clear the zone. The Blackhawks have the lead for the first time, 2-1, as they have picked up the last 2 goals. Ruutu, far side, tipped in again, and a little trouble behind the net for Hrivnak as Jocelyn Lemieux had touched it up the side of the net. Tiki's pass too far ahead for Lemieux. Cote over to Iafrate. Well, Iafrate into the middle. Tiki has it. Tiki sends it right back in.
It's difficult to tell from here, but the ice looks very slow. The puck seems to be rolling a lot and bouncing. That might have something to do with the lack of offensive attack by both teams.
They had a rock concert here 2 nights ago and had to put new ice in yesterday for the game against New Jersey, and the ice was not good yesterday. Doesn't look like it's improved a whole lot here. They haven't had time to let it sit for very long. Iafrate, big run in with Hrivnak. They both act as though nothing happened and get up and come back. Hunter drops it off. Shot by Pat Hrivnak wide. Iafrate, another bump on Hrivnak again. Hrivnak came right up off the ice. We're going to get a penalty here. Iafrate and Hrivnak kept going. Right now, there's only one call. Iafrate's getting out of the way here because Hrivnak's going to the box.
Iafrate comes in, gives him a bump. That's a little payback for the bump that Hrivnak had given him earlier. Gives him another shot, and then Hrivnak comes right across. And Paul Stewart catches him. You see Iafrate look immediately to the referee. Did you see that? Yes, I did. Jeremy, go to the penalty box.
Didn't get a call. He just would have gone back and gotten Hrivnak. In shot, Kristich. Belfour went down and got enough of it on Kristich. Kelly Johansson, Hatcher, Hunter. Washington 0 for 2 in the power play. Kristich scores!
Capitals can beat you so many ways. They have this great down-low play. Hunter to Pavelka, right to the goal crease. There's Kristich. It's very difficult power play to defend against because their defensemen are such prolific shooters. So you pull your forwards out to watch the defense, cross-ice pass, and then they beat you with a low pass through the crease. Just watching the power play is a real pleasure to watch when it's working, Gary.
Dmitry Kristich played for Sokol Kiev in Moscow, 24 years old. He's a power play scorer. He had 14 power play goals last year. He's got his 6th power play goal this season. Coming at 15-23, Pavelka and Hunter pick up the assists. Kristich has a dozen goals on the year now and has tied this game at 2-2. That's the way the power play works when it's working, the Washington Capitals.
They have so many options. That's what makes it such a difficult power play to defend against. They can beat you so many ways with it. Worst comes to worst, it's back to the point, and any one of their 4 defensemen can let a rocket go. And they have good passers, and as you mentioned earlier, they spread the scoring out amongst a lot of their players.
4 Capitals now have 6 power play goals this season to lead the team in that department. And the game tied at 2-2, blocked by Bondruk onto the bench. 4:34 left to go here in this second period.
The best thing to happen to the Capitals may have been the Blackhawks' second goal. It's been a tight checking, slow-moving, kind of grinding game. That's not to the Capitals' advantage. There are 3 Chicago defensemen out of the lineup, 3 regulars. And the Capitals play much better when they score a lot of goals. 15 times in the last 20 games, they go 14-0-1 in games where they score 4 or more goals.
Well, you do have that matchup of Chicago's great defense and the Washington offense, and that's turning into the exact kind of game we expected. Want to remind you on the schedule today at 3 o'clock following our National Hockey League coverage, NCAA basketball, number 17 Michigan State takes on East Tennessee State at 3. At 5 o'clock, the Senior PGA Tour, the Merrill Lynch Shootout coming your way at 5. Sports Center to bring you up to date on all the day and weekends activities at 7. Then the National Football League primetime show at 7:30, and the final bowl game of the season. 8 o'clock, the Peach Bowl, their silver anniversary game. Mississippi State ranked 24th in the nation, number 19, North Carolina. That's all today. That's a lot of chips. Played in behind the net by Tiki. Hrivnak puts the hit on the far side. Freed up. Ruutu on the near side. Tiki brings it in. Tiki. The Czech player, Czech national team, Pat Hrivnak. Right out of the zone, they got Carpenter up front. Hatcher brings it in. Chicago's back, though. Hatcher, he made the move, but he lost the puck. Tiki cut him off. Back comes Graham, who's got one of the goals for the Blackhawks. Graham the shot. Oh, he looked behind him. He thought it had gone through, but he had it in the pads. Hrivnak took a long, big look into the net.
Good play by Hunter. He got out of the way. He figured the shot was coming from far enough out. This is Hatcher. Hatcher has to have his body taken here. Tiki can't be fishing for the puck at that point. It's a good job Graham was coming back. The Hawks right back in the counter. Hunter moves there. You want a good look at it? That's a good play. If it's in close, you want to block the shot. But a shot from just inside the blue line, let your goaltender see the puck. He's got to come up with that save.
There is Jim Hrivnak making the start here. He is 1-0 against the Blackhawks this season. 1-1 lifetime. He beat them 4-1 in that game played at Indianapolis earlier in the year on the neutral site. Iafrate in the corner. Sutter the hit on Cote. Chelios the puck. May poked it away from him. Held in behind the net, though, by the Blackhawks. That checking game creates opportunities. Lemieux lost it to Cote. Cleared out of the zone. No icing. Here comes Belfour. Way out of the net. He's at the blue line still. McDermott's got him out. He makes the save.
You got to go for the love there. You can't drill it past him.
He had him at the marks between the circles.
Well, Belfour wins a leg race with May. Gets it off the boards and just out. May hustles out. A good play by May. McDermott's eyes got to be big as saucers if he sees the open net. But the puck's rolling a little bit. There's no way you're going to beat Belfour from there. There goes Belfour. Put the brakes on. Get back to the net, Eddie. And he does. He keeps the score at 2.
Started the season 2-5-3. Since has gone 15-4-1. As we said, the #1 goaltender in the league in both goals against, save percentage, and 5 shutouts. Leads in all categories. Sutter on the draw against Alan May. Sutter wins it back to Chelios. 3:20 remaining in this second period. Chelios couldn't get the handle on it. Then tied up by May. May takes a run at Sutter. Puck comes to the side of the net. Belfour covers his up and hangs on.
We should mention the Chicago backup goalie, Jim Wade, has 2 shutouts of his own. Another interesting comparison with these two teams. The Capitals have no shutouts. As you look at their numbers, Wade and Belfour, the best tandem in the National Hockey League. Another interesting stat, you have hat tricks, 4 by the Chicago Blackhawks. Goulet, Larmer with 2, Hrivnak has 1. The Capitals none.
I don't figure the way they spread out the scoring. Check put on in the corner behind the net on Lauer by McDermott. McDermott finds him again. Cote comes away with a puck. McDermott takes off Lauer's helmet behind the play. Krieger, Blackhawks changing. Krieger in. Cote hit by Markman. Hey, looking for some help. Backs it up behind the net. Cap trying to complete a line change here. So Chicago will be able to get the puck up and out of the zone. There's Lauer without the helmet. Ridley bangs it right back in. Again, Brian Markman, the center. Lauer trying to dump it off. Nobody could handle it. Back to get it. Markman. Christian went by him. Hatcher just came out on the ice. And Hatcher will send it into the corner. 2:20 left to go. Game tied. 2-2. 1-1 at the end of 1. 2-2 now. Hatcher. Wrist shot. Got in. Rebound. Ridley. Belfour was out of the net, but the puck was behind him. Ridley had to go back to get it. Belfour back in the net. This line can score for the Caps. Ridley, Miller, Priestett, Chelios up for Goulet. Hatcher steps up to hold it in and does. Got it away by Kelly Miller to Hatcher. Hatcher dumps it for Ridley. Ridley behind the net. Chelios centering pass taken away by Michel Goulet. Goulet starts on Malone. Sends it around the boards. Helmets in there behind the net. He is laying behind Jim Hrivnak. Kelly Johansson back to get it. Game tied here at 2-2 shots of 16-13 in favor of the Blackhawks. Priestett moving in. 2-2 over on him. Priestett trying to reach around him. They both go down. Kuchera's got it. Dirk Graham. That's checked away from him. Iafrate gets it. Iafrate can't go by Graham. And there's still very little room on the ice to skate with that puck. Dirk Graham drops it in the middle. Route 2 coming. Route 2 for Gilbert on the far side. Too far ahead for him. And behind the net, Cavallini. Cavallini pushed it by Graham to Iafrate. Iafrate gets hit by Route 2. At center, he's got it. Wow, Jones tried to hit him and missed. And went hard into the glass at the scorer's table. Final minute of the second period. Jones does not get it out. Yes, it did. It did come outside the zone. Offside.
Tiki has to be a happy guy that Jones missed him with that hit because Jones was coming full force and Tiki may still have been part of the boards had he connected.
There is a head still out there to go with that helmet.
Well, there's a lot of activity along the boards. You see there when you get hit, there is certain give to the boards. You see the glass shaking there, but believe me, when you get crunched, it still hurts.
Along that dasher at the top, right there on the mantle, you got to get into that.
Yeah, a lot of hit pointers. I mean, this game, there's so much contact so quickly. The players, their conditioning is just impeccable. These guys come to camp in good shape, a lot different than the old days where you use training camp to get in good shape. They're in shape year-round, and they can take a good pound and keep coming back for more.
Charlie Johansson gets it off to Kristich. We're down to 38 seconds left to go here in the second period. Hatcher brings it in. Hatcher around Mateau, centered. Kelly Miller tipped. Just wide of the net off a Chicago stick. Hatcher again. Shot, save, rebound, loose in front. Belfour can't find it. There's a delay penalty coming up. They get the whistle with 21 seconds left. A holding call coming, I'm sure, on Chicago as the rush was put on by the Caps.
Hatcher again leading the rush, and he comes up with a loose puck here. He's all the way in the Chicago corner. A good save again by Belfour, getting his pad down. Since Chicago took the lead, Washington has awakened, and their offensive game has started to take control. Best thing that could have happened to them, get them into the game. But that often happens, Gary, when you're coming the next day after playing against a divisional rival and you have a big win, as they did against the Devils. There just isn't the same intensity to start a game against the team that's out of your division. I'm sorry, there's the scrubbing in front of the net, and again, Chelios right in the middle.
Right in the middle where he'd expect him to be. So Cam Russell of Chicago goes off for holding. And we will get a power play started here in the second period by the Washington Capitals. And Johansson did hold it in. 16 seconds to go in the period. Ruutu is able to clear it out.
Hunter wins yet another draw. He wins him so clean. He's got to be one of the best face-off men in the entire league.
Real matchup here yesterday with Peter Stastny and Hunter on face-offs. Those are two of the best who ever played the game on the draws. Hunter puts the check on, but that's going to do it. 1:38 remaining on the power play to start the third period. At the end of two, Caps, Blackhawks 2-2. Tom Mees.
All right, thank you very much. We are where we began, all knotted up. 1-1 after 1, 2-2 after 2. National Hockey Night rolls on, a special matinee edition. Tom Mees joined, of course, by Bill Clement and Al Morganti. And Bill, in case folks tuned in late, we're going to show them what they missed in the open, dealing with the Washington Capital power play.
Well, they like to set it up down low. Interestingly enough, it usually starts on the stick of Kevin Hatcher, and that's exactly how Washington scored the goal we're going to look at. It starts with Hatcher up high, but they always want to end up rolling it down low. So here's Hatcher. He's looking for a seam, and he finds one into Dale Hunter. Now watch Hunter. He fumbles this one, and because he fumbles it, look at Chelios move right to him. Now, Chelios has to stop the pass from Hunter into Pavanka. He misses it. What does Pavanka want to do? Option number one. As soon as he gets it, option number one, right through the feet of Eddie Belfour over to Kristich. That's option one. You can see Larmer back in deep trying to help out, but Washington executes this so quickly that, bam, that Kristich has it. They execute it so well. A lot of teams try this play but can't execute it that well.
So that power play goal by Kristich, the reason we're tied at 2. The Blackhawks a bit fortunate maybe because they took a 2-1 lead on a busted play, but it counts nonetheless. Dirk Graham ends up with the goal here for the Blackhawks. And that made it 2-1. Kristich tied it at 2. We'll be back with more in a moment.
This National Hockey Night Special is presented by the new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation.
Over the past 10 years, the Blackhawks' Steve Larmer has averaged over 85 points a season for Chicago. How can he do that? Well, it helps if you play every game. That's right, Larmer playing in his 841st consecutive regular season game today. Where does that rank among Ironmen in all sports? Well, Lou Gehrig, of course, is the standard by which all are measured. Doug Jarvis is the Ironman record holder right now for the NHL. Randy Smith from the NBA and Jim Marshall of the Vikings holds it for the National Football League. An Ironman in his own right is our own Bill Clement. Bill, what was your streak? Do you recall?
Well, they used to pull me out of the lineup when I was healthy, so I was never able to establish anything like that.
We saw the 4 major team sports, though, the Ironman. What is the most difficult to pull an Ironman act in?
Well, obviously not unbiased, but I think it's more difficult in hockey for a couple of reasons. Sticks and pucks. No other sport you carry a weapon we're actually allowed to hit somebody with. Baseball you can't. The puck travels at 100 miles an hour, so the opportunities to get hurt, I think, are far greater in hockey. I'm not taking anything away from the other sports. They're very difficult, and those were great achievements. But I also think that no matter what Steve Larmer does, that these numbers will never again be seen in hockey for a reason, and that has to do with the change of the scene in hockey, scenery, and that's the financial scenery. Now when a player goes into the lineup with an injury, he might be courageous, but to stay out of the lineup, he probably saves himself a life of financial security. And he's risking that when he goes into the lineup. Also, teams have so much money and such a great investment in their players, they're going to pull a player out of the lineup. So I don't think you'll ever see a hockey player equal Steve Larmer's numbers or Doug Jarvis's numbers.
It is really a compliment, though, to Steve Larmer that he's been productive over those 10 years, averaging 85 points or more a season. Let's take a look at one of the most productive hockey teams recently. Back on November 21st, we were talking what's wrong with the Caps. They couldn't win a division game. Since November 28th, they haven't lost a division game. And look what's happened. Coming into today's game, the Caps have moved up to second place, just 9 points in back of Pittsburgh. They win today. Al, they're only 7 points back. What has been the reason the Caps have turned it around?
Well, what some people forget with the Capitals is, other than last year, historically they've been a slow-starting team. I used to tell the general manager, put a Christmas tree at your training camp so they think it's Christmas and get going. They've reverted to those ways. However, the goaltender, Don Beaupre, he came back, and he's only lost a couple of games since November 28th. That's a big plus for them. Kristich came back. That's a big plus for them. And they're confident. They're confident. And Chicago ought to watch out. In the last 10 games, Washington's outscored the opponents in the third period 24-12. This is a team playing knowing it's going to win games.
Yeah, this is the other element that they didn't have at the start, and that is offense. Last year, they were great offensively. Everybody thought, it's not going to happen again. And it wasn't happening at the start, and a lot of people were saying, it's not going to happen. But as soon as Kristich came back, the two elements in hockey, keep it out of your net and score at the other end. They weren't doing either of those things at the start of the season, and they're clicking on both now.
And Al Iafrate's turned into as much of a go-to guy as you're going to in Washington. He's really been red hot for over a month now.
Well, all of a sudden they're saying at the Cap Center, who needs Dino Ciccarelli anyway? Something for the Rangers and the Penguins to think about come playoff time. Beware the Washington Capitals. 2-2 after 2 from Landover. Back with more in a moment. Year, we've made a resolution here at the National Hockey Night Studios, and that is that we will bring you Plays of the Week even more often than we did in 1992. Big reason, we'll have more games in 1993 than we did in 92. So without further ado, our first edition of Plays of the Week for 93. Welcome to a new year, and time for some New Year's resolutions like getting along just a bit better, keeping that cool head, and being just a bit kinder to one another than we had in the old year. We also resolved to avoid confrontation. Look out, Keith Acton. Hey, Eric Lindros, is this any way to treat a former Flyer, Shell Samuelson of the Penguins? And Al Iafrate, watch out for the plexiglass. Mark Freer, ouch! What year was that anyway, 93? Owen Nolan, he resolves to skate with his head up from now on. We also resolve to save more. McKinnon and Mullen, 2-on-0. Great save by Buick. Hoyen in for Lemieux. Save Van Beesbrook.
Mogilny steals in all alone. He takes his time. Riggett, but the rebound. Mogilny again. Rebound. Butcher. Riggett. And again.
Eisenman breaks alone and cuts away in. Shot.
What a save.
What a save.
Here's Dahlin working right in front. Can't get a shot. Knocked down by Barron. Loose puck. A shot. Oh, Joseph robs McPhee. He breaks away. Gardner's with him. Graves cutting it on Burke to Gardner. A save! Sean Burke with a save. Then he covers the puck. And in the new year, we also resolved to give more, like Sergei Fedorov giving it to Dallas Drake for the score. And does anybody give the puck up better than the Pittsburgh Penguins on their powerful power play? Peter Zezel, a beautiful pass between his legs to Nikolai Borshevsky off the skate of the goalie and in. And who gives up the pass better than Le Magnifique, Mario Lemieux? Larry Murphy says thank you very much. And who also does it on his own? Vintage Mario. So if we take Mario's lead and we all do our jobs that well, there'll be plenty to celebrate about in 1993. And our celebration of Plays of the Week will continue next Friday night between periods of the Buffalo Sabres game with the New York Islanders right here on ESPN. Well, Happy New Year, right? I don't think that's what Jeremy Roenick and Al Iafrate were uttering to each other in the corner. Thank goodness we don't have closed captioning on this telecast. It's 2-2 after 2 in Landover. Back in a moment.
Otherwise, thank goodness the bowl season is over. Not the Peach Bowl tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern Time from Atlanta. North Carolina and Mississippi State will go at it. And right after our hockey game this afternoon, college hoop action live from Tennessee, East Tennessee State. The Buccaneers hosting Michigan State. And don't forget, National Hockey Night next Friday night. From the Aud in Buffalo, the Sabres hosting the New York Islanders. Airtime 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific Time. Back with more as we head towards the third period in Landover in a moment.
This National Hockey Night special is brought to you by the new Dodge, a division of the Chrysler Corporation, and by Budweiser, the king of beers, with that fresh, pure, natural taste. Nothing beats a Bud.
Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld, delighted to have you with us outside of the nation's capital here at the Cap Center. The Blackhawks and the Washington Capitals tied up at 2-2 as we get set for the third period. Our Visa storyline, Kristich picked up the power play goal, his 12th of the year at 15:23 of the second to tie this game up at 2-2. Chicago had a Larmer goal waved off after he had kicked it in. No argument about it. Jeremy Rodick, no shots on goal. Their leading scorer, Chicago's leading scorer, has not had chances. You see what a defensive game this has been with the shots at 16-15.
Al Iafrate, hardest shot in the league, also has no shots on goal. If you don't get a shot on goal, they're not going to go in the net. Towards the end of the period, the Capitals picked it up offensively. I would expect them to come out and charge the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks want to keep this a tight checking game. We've mentioned the injuries to their defense. They're going to have to come out, play a patient game, hope that their goaltender can come up with some key saves for them. And on the counter, they'll get some chances against the Washington Capitals.
Jim Hrivnak, you see what he's done at home with that 4-0-1 mark as part of the 10-4-1 he has on the season. First period goals by Miller and Goulet, 1-1, then Graham and Kristich in the second. Chicago's period has been the third. That's a big scoring differential right there. That'll be hard to keep that kind of differential going, though, against the Washington Capitals. All right, 2-2 game. The Washington Capitals 7-0-1 in their last 8 here at home. The Chicago Blackhawks 7-2-1 in their last 10 games on the road. You got all the matchups of the great defense of Chicago and the number 2 offense of Washington going against one another here in this game. Hatcher's got it, 1:24 left on the Blackhawk penalty. So the Capitals will continue on their power play here. Tip the linesman, comes back out to Markman. Markman sends it in, and the save made by Jim Hrivnak. Behind the net center on the short-handed forechecking job. Hatcher drives it back in behind the net. Kelly Johansson going back to get it. And the fans trying to urge them on the power play. Caps 1 for 4. Chicago 0 for 4 on the power play chances today. Christian Ruuttu held it in. The Caps aren't able to get out of the zone to the dismay of the Cap crowd. Finally, Kelly Johansson over to Hatcher. 45 left in the power play, plenty of time left on it. Dale Hunter. Pavonka behind the net. Chelios moved in, took it away. Nice feed to Graham. Gentle passing out.
That's a real heads-up play by Chelios. A lot of people would just panic and try to rifle that puck out. Chelios sees the forward open. No touch pass to him.
Graham back to Pavonka. Hunter centered. Gutierrez was there to knock it away for the Blackhawks. Hunter's got it again. Iafrate, shot blocked. And down goes Ruuttu. Good, Christian, rather. Dave Christian stood right in front of the Iafrate shot and then knocked down Iafrate. Iafrate's been given no room, as Jim said, to wind up. Pat Elenick got it in. Chelios tipped it away. Miller holds it in. Power play is over. Russell back out for the Blackhawks. And it remains a 2-2 game as the Caps unable to convert on that power play chance. Cam Russell sends it in. Blackhawks will change it up. Held onto behind the net by Hrivnak. Cavallini. Over to Cote, Sylvain Cote. Cote, wide side corner. Belfour out to get it. Belfour off the glass by Ridley up to the point. Cavallini tried to jam it in. Driven out of the zone. Kelly Miller will give chase with Hrivnak moving in on him. Out to center ice. Milan. Kiki back to get it. Kiki out to center. Checking game just goes on. This is a hard, blunt tail type game here. It's a lot of work. Make a mistake and you pay for it. Blackhawks, Gutierrez shot. Good stick save, solid save made by Hrivnak, knocked it into the corner. Hrivnak got it out of the zone. Intercepted by Jeremy Hrivnak again. Blackhawks will change it up again. Back and forth we go.
Going to a call to begin this third period.
Cavallini sent in off the skate of Jones. There are no icing on it. Marksman, Chelios, Sutter's got it. Sutter comes to the middle. Sutter winds up. That hit the outside of the post. Got a little tick on that one as it went by. Hatcher. There's it up. Bondra puts the check on. In front. Intercepted by Pavanka momentarily. Run down by Chelios. Intended for Sutter, but picked up by Peter Bondra. And Bondra back to the Caps. Marchment, the poke check. Cote brings it in. He gets met by Marchment. And again, Chicago right there. Larmer got it. Freed it out to center. Love down by Cote. Chicago changes again. Sent in by Cote on net. Belfour makes the save. Chicago coming off the 5-0 shutout at Tampa Bay on Thursday, their last game. And of course, as we said, the Caps 9-2 win yesterday afternoon against the New Jersey Devils. Iafrate at center. Iafrate lost it. Greg Gilbert picks it up. Drew to it. Iafrate going to the corner. Iafrate tipped at it. Graham reached in and got it. Graham does battle with Bobby Carpenter. Comes back to Hunter. Hunter tips it away. Cote the defensive to Pat Hrivnak. Hrivnak leading the right. Cote tipped. Belfour knocked it away, and it was a bouncing puck. Not a lot of whistles in the start of this one. Third period, 2-2.
Okay, so
here in this third period, this is the only afternoon game in the National Hockey League where there's a full slate of action. All the National Hockey League teams will be in action. And those games will be coming up later on tonight. There you see on our Budweiser scoreboard, there's a big game. Rangers and Pittsburgh go at it. Minnesota and the Islanders. Detroit and Red Hot Quebec. Those are just some of the games going on in the National Hockey League tonight. Off the draw, it'll be won by Jeremy Hrivnak of the Blackhawks. During that break, Dirk Graham headed out with the trainer to the dressing room. Now, Graham blocked that shot in the second period on the ankle and had to go to the bench on it. He came out, tried his shift, and then went back into the dressing room. So we'll see whether or not the Blackhawks captain reappears here in this third period. He has one of the Blackhawks' 2 goals. Goulet has the other. Jeremy Hrivnak to center. Hrivnak pushed it into Goulet. Hatcher couldn't control. Hrivnak, Larmer in front of the net. Kelly Johansson stepped in on it. Where's Chelios at the point? Chelios dumps it. Johansson up. Ridley looking to center to Miller. Miller's unable to get it. Brian Marchment goes back to get it. Good game for Brian Marchment. Having to play a lot with those 3 defensemen injured and out for the Blackhawks. He's covering the ground pretty well.
Playing extremely well. Did a real good job standing up Peter Bondra early in the period. Bondra has good moves. Marchment stood his ground, had good timing, took him outside of the Chicago blue line.
Marchment good size. McDermott brings it in. Sutter knocked him off the puck. And the Blackhawks try it the other way. Here comes Larmer. Larmer, the hit by Cote, didn't get him. Larmer tried to center. Krieger blocked it. Off the side of the net, Krieger. Jocelyn Lemieux, and a penalty coming up on Krieger. The stick got up on Lemieux, who's already got those 120 stitches in. Todd Krieger and Jocelyn Lemieux going at it. Well, maybe it's going to be Jocelyn Lemieux who's going to go. Maybe they're both going to go.
A little shoving in front of the Capitol net, trying to vie for position. Lemieux gives Krieger a shot. Krieger takes exception and gives him a shot back. And he'll rest for the next 2 minutes. There's the loose puck. They're fighting over it now. There's the first push. Boom. Boom. Take that in your stitches. That's got to hurt. It takes a lot of courage to play the game with over 100 stitches in your face. Or maybe you don't care too much about your looks. One or the other. I don't know. But it's got to hurt.
On our Budweiser scoreboard, some of the other games of the National Hockey League coming up tonight. Red Hull scoring again, putting the puck in the net. Tampa Bay still battling for a playoff spot. How about that?
That's tremendous. What a job they've done down in Tampa.
Expansion team Tampa Bay. They've got a legitimate shot at making the playoffs. They're in last place in the North Division, but they've got 30 points. Only 6 points behind Toronto in that 4th playoff spot. Guys moving out of the face-off circle too much too soon. Well, and Greg Gilbert said, where do you want me here? I didn't know the officials lined us up for face-offs. And it'll be taken back by Kuchera. So we go back on the coincidental minors to this 4-on-4. Gilbert's got it. Second time we've had a 4-on-4 in the game. No scoring the first chance. Christian brings it in off the Dream goal team against the Soviet Union. Dave Christian, the National Hockey League after they won that 1980 medal. The gold, of course. Still the National Hockey League. Tipped up by Pavonka. He got it out to center ice. There's a hook. Down on the ice goes Gilbert. He's having a tough shift. The puck ended up underneath him. He lost the stick, got hooked. And he said, I'm going back.
Terry Murray is thinking that this is a pretty important game, and he thinks probably the next goal could be the big one. You see Gilbert there hanging on to Iafrady's stick. That faceoff was just inside the blue line. Dale Hunter took the draw, won the draw, and went to the bench. You don't very often see a 4-on-4 situation with a faceoff just inside your blue line where you bring out your faceoff specialist to take the draw.
Finish up with our Budweiser scoreboard, the remaining games in the National Hockey League. Buffalo against Ottawa, a tremendous struggle for Ottawa. They're still packing them in up there. Montreal, Los Angeles, two of the teams we'll be seeing in the playoffs here on ESPN. Won't be seeing San Jose, but we sure will see Vancouver. Vancouver right now has got the best home ice record in the National Hockey League. The Vancouver Canucks have won 16 games on home ice, more than anyone else. Kind of unnoticed somewhat on the East Coast as far as hockey is concerned. But those of you out west see the Vancouver Canucks more in that Smythe division, and they are a strong, big, physical team.
Well, we've talked about the Chicago Blue Liners that are out of the lineup tonight. Chelios plays a lot with regulars in the lineup. But with him out tonight, you can see his minutes played, over 25. He's had one scoring chance. He's been on for a goal against and then 4. Chelios is used to lugging a lot of ice time, but he's doing extra duty in this afternoon's game.
Chelios has now gone over that 600-game mark in his National Hockey League career. Chelios, a lot of ice time for him because it's regular to have that much. Larmer, a little room. Larmer, Hatcher. Good move to cut him off. Right on the near side, Marchman, 4-on-4 shot, lost. Hrivnak made the save, thought he had it underneath his shoulder and did not. Hatcher starts up. 3-on-2, but they miss on the pass to Pavonka from Kristich. Chelios behind the net. 50 seconds left in this 4-on-4 situation. Game tied at 2. Center ice we come. Hrivnak, Pavonka. Pavonka took it away from him. And we'll chase it down in the corner. By our side, Kristich. Right back to him on Chelios' skate. Michael Pavonka. Pavonka gets hit by Marchman. Down he goes. We told you Marchman's playing that strong game. He's only 23 years old. Not a lot of NHL experience prior to this season. He played in 95 games over the past 4 years. Actually, he's gone up and down with Winnipeg and Chicago between the National Hockey League and the minors. Hrivnak brings it in. Sylvain Cote was right there on him. 5 seconds on the coincidental. Iafrady starts it. Look out when this starts. Iafrady tried to move it in, and he couldn't. Kuchera right there. Iafrady again. Tried to center. Had it blocked by Kuchera. And it trickles out of the zone, and we're back to 5-on-5. Todd Krieger. Cote. The high flip. Chased down by Gilbert. Gilbert backs it up. Gets a little help from Christian. And Christian gets it to center. Ruutu, Gilbert in front. Tries to play it to Gilbert. The boards didn't give him any bounce. Gilbert's shot with no angle. Goes for the wide side dasher, held in by Christian. Gilbert in the offensive zone. Good hit by Cote on him. Sylvain Cote, not one of the bigger of the defensemen, but still hits. Hrivnak the save. Gilbert the shot. Hrivnak the save. Ruutu. Christian Ruutu, 2 saves by Hrivnak. Cote getting out of the net. He got knocked down, ended up behind his goaltender. There he is, coming up with a hit on Gilbert. Chelios, saved by Hrivnak again. And cleared by Cavallini.
Big save, well out, top of the crease, out to challenge Chelios. Hrivnak's having himself a game today, boys.
3 of the toughest saves he's had, coming all on this last shift. Knocked down by Cote and played up and out of the zone by the Caps. 11:16 left to go. Who's going to make the last mistake? Lauer to the middle. Larmer, Jocelyn Lemieux going to the net. Lemieux circling with it. His shot saved by Hrivnak again. That went in. on goal. Pat Hrivnak cleared it. This will be an icing call on the Caps. Marchment for the touch-up. And we're down to crunch time here. 10:53 to go in this game, tied at 2.
Chicago's best offensive flourish of the game. 3 or 4 good scoring chances. Ruutu with one here out of the corner. Good save by the Washington goaltender. Kelios had a terrific shot. He made a good save, and Gilbert had a shot. 3 good shots, 3 good saves by the Washington goal.
Jim Hrivnak rising up, shot, Hrivnak over the head. Goulet trying to bang it in, hit the side of the net on the rebound. Hrivnak still has not had a shot on goal in this game. Chicago out shooting Washington 7-0 here in this third period, and 22-16 on the game. Steve Larmer, Hrivnak tips it away. Kelly Johansson goes back to get it. Played behind the net by Johansson. Lucky number in this game so far has been 12. We've had 3 players with their 12th goal of the season. Miller, Graham, and Priestich. 2 to the score. In the middle of Larmer. Larmer's got Goulet. Ruutu joins in. Goulet over to Ruutu. Bounces right back into the middle. Hatcher's there. Hatcher lugs. They want to change. Belfour trying to catch him in the change. Tried to dump it up. Didn't get it there. Jones stepped in. Geeky around the near side. Out by Greg Gilbert. I afraid he couldn't handle it. Back in Graham. With Graham obviously all right. He's come back from the dressing room and takes another shift here. Cleared out to center. Tipped away. Iafrate. The shot blocked. Kuchera again. Kuchera seems to have Iafrate one-on-one. Pabaga's shot deflected wide. Peter Bondra tried to control. Graham took it away. Everywhere Iafrate's been in this third period, you've seen Kuchera right on it.
That was a good touch pass by Bondra to Iafrate. He saw Iafrate out of the corner of his eye. Knew he was going a little touch pass along the board, but Iafrate was covered too well to get his big shot away.
Marchment. Carpenter tried to strip him, couldn't. Sutter's pass intercepted by Hunter. Bondra. Belfour gloved it. That was going over his head. Usually goaltenders will let that go rather than fool around with it.
Well, you have a chance when you put your hand up, it's going over the net, of hitting the heel of your hand and going into the net. So better to let it go, and you can follow it after it hits the glass.
Sutter gets it. It was intended for Hrivnak. Sutter not out. Shot by Cavallini. Belfour makes the save on the high shot and hangs on. 8:36 left in regulation. Still tied here at 2-2. Top Rank Boxing coming your way tomorrow night at 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 on the Pacific Coast. It'll be a lightweight feature bout. Paris Alexander and Oscar De La Hoya. This will be the second pro fight for De La Hoya, who is the only American to win a gold at the '92 Olympics. Right here on ESPN tomorrow. Top Rank Boxing. Labanca for the Washington Capitals going back with his line mate.
Iafrate looking for some open ice. The Chicago Blackhawks have been all over him, just as the Washington Capitals have kept Jeremy Hrivnak at bay. The 2 big guns for both teams not shooting very much today.
Hrivnak Kuchera coming over after playing European hockey. He's from Czechoslovakia. Kuchera's had 3 full seasons over the past 4 years. We have to be careful now on these, and I don't say this as an apology, but as a recognition. As of New Year's Day now, there is no Czechoslovakia. There is the Czech Republic, and there is Slovakia. And if you talk to the players from those countries, it matters a great deal that you do not put them in the wrong country.
You know something about
Peter
everything.
Stastny gave me a big, not a lecture, we were talking about it yesterday when he was here with the Devils. Peter is Slovakian, and don't call him Czech. Ridley in the middle. Priestich drops it off. Tipped away. Kelly Johansson holds it in. Priestich in the corner, got tied up by Kuchera again. Comes back for Hatcher. Hatcher trying to center, had it gloved down by Hrivnak. Hrivnak with Lauer out in front. Christian on the right. They crisscross. Jeremy Hrivnak had to wait. Gets Lauer on the skate. Johansson plays it up and not out. Held in. Jeremy Hrivnak. Hrivnak the shot. That didn't get in as it hit Lauer again. And this time the Caps will get it out. 7:50 left to go. Priestich the shot wide. Belfour loves to roam. He looks for chances to come out of the net and chase down a puck. A la Ron Hextall a little bit now with Quebec. Cote goes back to get it. Cote on the touch-up. That'll be an icing call. We're down to 7:38 left to go in regulation. Chicago captain Dirk Graham back out after taking that shot on the ankle. Yukon Seton Hall, 7 o'clock Eastern time, 4 Pacific. Number 15 Oklahoma and number 1 Duke at 9 Eastern. UAB, that's Alabama, Birmingham, and Santa Barbara. They'll go at it in the third game coming up on Big Monday. Hunter, Carpenter shot blocked by Marchman. Carpenter center. Third around far side, Cote hit by Graham. Chelios taken away by Hunter. Hunter, Washington in their offensive zone here. Cote pulling it away. Tried to run the boards. Graham got it out. Iafrate chasing. Iafrate mostly avoiding the check that time of Christian Rutu. Sent back in by Graham. Chicago's got to clear the zone. Would have been offside. They do. Near side to Hunter. Hunter avoided the check that time. Back in. Jocelyn Lemieux. Save made on the blocker by Jim Hrivnak. Along the boards, Hunter finally able to come away with it. Hunter drops it off. The hitting is kept up in this game. Cleared in by Pat Elenick. Jimmy was mentioning, though, during that last break, I think you're right, Jim, the Caps showing a little worse on the wear, having played yesterday. Sutter hit by Hatcher. Sutter still has it. Hatcher still has him, and he's hooking it. Trying to hold him off here. Hatcher's had a lot of ice time in the last 2 days. Sutter moves to the middle. Pavanka got a piece of him. Down they all go. Puck free shot. Hrivnak the save. And it's clipped away. Jocelyn Lemieux had a great chance. And Hrivnak again came up big. Right now, he's the difference in this game. Washington's goaltender, Jim Hrivnak, in this third period, had some real tough saves to make. At center, Hrivnak, one-on-one. Hrivnak with Kalle Johansson. Hrivnak, wrap around, centering pass. Goulet couldn't handle it. It was in the skates. Hatcher and Hrivnak. Ow. Hrivnak went right at him.
The thing to like about Jeremy Hrivnak, not only does he score goals, get a lot of points, he's an excellent skater, he finishes every check he has the opportunity to finish against fast guys, against big guys, against strong guys. It doesn't matter. Goal's coming, and he's going to take you out of the play.
Washington not getting scoring opportunities. Iafrate will touch it up. They wave off the icing. Iafrate up to Ridley. Ridley with Kelly Miller and Dimitri Kristich out there. Miller, Rutu, no room. Rutu, great job of checking at center ice. And again, Chicago standing up. The Washington forwards right at the blue line. Dirk Graham. Rutu's tip out of the zone a second time. Cavallini in. And out. Over the glass. Souvenir.
If you're a Chicago Blackhawk, you're feeling pretty good about yourself. You're coming in against a red-hot Washington Capitol team. You know they're a good team. You have a depleted defensive core. The longer the game goes and you're in it, you start thinking, here's a chance where we can win this game.
You can almost get the lead right here.
Chicago with good pressure again. Sutter staying where the puck stays with it. Gets a little swipe here. Hatcher's down. Could be again fatigue. I think guy is going down for taking a good shot. But Hrivnak out again. I mean, this goaltender is playing very well. As you said, he's keeping the Capitals in this game at this point in time.
There, I think, Jim, what we were talking about, the tiredness of Washington showing up right there. The offense is now Chicago.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Chicago's taken over the game, and that's not what you would expect when you look at the matchup of these two teams coming into the game today.
2-2, though, is the score. 5:09 left to go. Hrivnak dealt with Lauer and Christian. Hunter wins the face-off. He's got Elenick and Carpenter on the line with him. Hunter around Marchman. Marchman then got a hold of him. Carpenter moves in to help out. Puck squirts free to the near side corner. Lauer hit by Carpenter. Brad Lauer up for Dave Christian. Christian gets it out. Played by Kalle Johansson. Washington clearly is going to try and dump and chase here. Not particularly this time of game. Marchman around the board. Jeremy Hrivnak there. He'll be doing some double shifting as Chicago looks for the go-ahead goal. Tipped in off Hatcher's stick. Hatcher, the hit on Christian right along the line. Pat Elenick got it out of the zone. The front of Winnipeg Jet. Elenick, good offensive player. Adding to the scoring punch for the Caps. Hunter's got it. Chicago changing. Elenick up front waiting for it. Knocked down by Kuchera. Kuchera's played an excellent game for Chicago.
All the Chicago defensemen have had a superb game. Really have played very, very well today against Chicago.
It bounced off Jones. Tiki lost it. Tiki gets it back. Tiki will take the shot. Squeezed shut by Hrivnak. Cote got it up and out of the zone. Down the left side, Pavanka. He Peter Bondra with Kuchera in front of him. Belfour wraps it around the net. Pavanka there to get it. Stepping up, Paul Cavallini, the defenseman. In front, not quite. Bondra trying to run it in. Takes the hit from Jocelyn Lemieux. They do battle. Chicago wanting to free it up. Washington wants the face-off. They got the puck centered. Just missed. And Jones cutting in the slot. He was open, but the puck just out of his reach. Ruutu sends it in.
Good play by Ruutu. He knew his line wanted to make a change. He hung on to the puck. Gave him a little more time. They went to the bench, dumped it in. Now the Chicago forwards are inside the Washington zone.
Only 3:14 to go in regulation. Set in by Hunter. Game still tied at 2-2. All the scoring in the first and second periods of this game. With Miller and Goulet in the first, Graham and Kristich in the second. Ruutu along the boards, hit by Hunter. Reaches back for the puck. Hunter pushed it up, and the Caps unable to clear the zone. Greg Gilbert held it in. Hatcher in the corner, hit by Ruutu as he got it up the boards to Pat Elenick. Elenick leaves it for Hunter. 3-on-3. Elenick taken away by Graham. Turns Graham to Gilbert, sends it in, change it up.
Graham has also had a very strong game for the Blackhawks today, both offensively and defensively.
An appropriate captain for this Blackhawks team, epitomizing the style of play.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he works extremely hard. He pays the price. He finishes his checks. And he has a pretty good nose for the net, Gary.
2:20 left to go in regulation. Goulet drops it off onside. Chelios waiting for help. Hrivnak goes by. Tries to get it to Jeremy Hrivnak. Sylvain Cote moved in on him. Hrivnak dumps him. Has the puck. Tried to center Larmer. Had it blocked by Carpenter. Out of the zone again. This is Chicago pressing and pressing. Washington just dumping, trying to avoid the goal. Iafrate back to get it. That'll be an icing call. Exactly 2 minutes left in regulation play here at the Cap Center. 2-2. ESPN's National Hockey Night, our special noonday edition. Gary Thorne, Jim Schoenfeld. Great to have you with us. We wish you all the best for 1993. We'll see lots of hockey coming up on ESPN this season, including the Stanley Cup playoffs, along with games getting there through the January, February, and March months. We've got a good one here. Minute 46 left to go. Alan May checked up on the boards by Kuchera, sent in for Krieger. Todd Krieger hung on to, taken down by Tiki, who figures with a minute 36 to go. There aren't going to be a lot of penalties called here. Krieger's looking over at Paul Stewart for one, but he knows he's not going to get it.
Unless there's something flagrant, a slash, a hook, or a trip, I don't think you're going to see any penalties called, especially with scrums along the boards. Paul Stewart likes to let the hockey players play the game. He's a little bit of an old schooler in that regard. Being a player, he likes a rough and tumble contest, and he really enjoys watching the intensity of the players on the ice. You talk to Paul Stewart, he just loves his game of hockey. Played it, officiated. If he couldn't officiate, he would be doing something else in another capacity. He just loves the game.
And he's the breed the league's looking to have more of. Former players move into the officiating positions. They believe they might have a better feel for the game, having played it, a better sense of what's going on the ice. I think that's probably a wise choice, and that takes nothing away from the officials who are out there now who weren't necessarily players. I tell you, it's got to be one of the toughest jobs in the world, officiating NHL hockey.
Especially when you have coaches who sometimes say the wrong thing.
Yes. Well, I know, and you never did as a coach.
Absolutely right, because I respect these guys.
That's right. You do. Over the glass. Face-off will come at center.
As a matter of fact, I respect them more and more from up here than I did down there even. But it is a difficult job. It's such a quick tempo. The rink sizes have stayed the same, and yet the players have gotten bigger and faster with each coming year. It's very difficult for one man to see all the activity going on the ice and make the right call all the time. I give the National League officials a lot of credit. They do it more and more often than not.
Yeah, that is amazing. Just one of them. The linesman more and more helping out, and appropriately so.
Yes.
Greg Gilbert back to get it, down to a minute 17 here in regulation. Are we going to have another one of our ESPN overtime games? We've become pretty famous for that already. 3/4 of our games thus far have gone into overtime here on ESPN. Played by Cote. Sylvain Cote starts it up for the Caps. 1 minute left to go in regulation. Cote in the end, and a save by Belfour. Washington's defensemen don't score goals. You're afraid to shoot. They aren't.
They sure aren't. Bondra does a good job of staying on side. As you see Cote bring the puck up the ice, If we can catch Bonner to the right of your screen as he hits the blue line, he's being pushed by the Chicago Blackhawks. That was there, Graham, and a good wrist shot by Cote. But Belfour is well out again. The goaltenders have done a good job of challenging the shooters today. Unless it's been a cross pass or a difficult save outside of the first one against Belfour, which went in the 5-hole. The goaltenders have been out challenging, had their angles very well, and for the most part, the pucks have hit them because of their good positioning.
That was only the third shot by the Capitals in this period and only their 19th of the game. Caps coming off their biggest output of the season yesterday with their 9 goals against New Jersey. That's how tough this Chicago defense is. Chelios, 51 seconds left in regulation. Stepan Matteau. Matteau dumps it in. Going to the corner. Couldn't get it. Matteau. Graham centered for Matteau. Kelly Miller, he's alone for the Caps up ice. Gets hooked down. Chelios sends it back in. Hrivnak plays it. 30 seconds remaining in regulation. Graham knocked down by Hatcher. He wasn't going to let him up. Hatcher was going to make sure Graham had no chance. Marchment, Hrivnak able to hold it in on Miller. Lost it to Ridley. Ridley to Christic. He's got one. Goulet knocks him off the puck. Goulet the pass, trying to hit Hrivnak. Hrivnak and Hatcher again. 9 seconds left in regulation. 2-2 the score. Poked away. Hrivnak centered shot. Hrivnak on Chelios. Limer holds it in. A game-saving save. We're going to overtime. And Jim Hrivnak made the difference.
Boy, oh boy, what a great play. Chelios jumps in off the point. Hrivnak, a game saver. Hrivnak out of the corner. There's Chelios. And Hrivnak comes up with a save. And you're right, you fortune teller, Gary Thorne, we are doing another ESPN overtime game.
We'll be back for the OT. They'll take a 2-minute break and then kick in the 5 minutes. Goulet popped it out of there. Couldn't be handled by Limer. The center, Goulet, Limer. Limer dumps it into the corner. Kelly Johansson goes back to get it. The Capitals lose it at center. Sutter picks it up. Marchment sends it in. Could be an icing call here. Christic on the touch-up. Break for the Caps. Face-off will come to the Chicago end. ESPN's National Hockey Night coverage will continue Friday night when the New York Islanders venture to the Odd in Buffalo. We'll have it for you 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Pat LaFontaine, second leading scorer in the National Hockey League. He's leading it for the Buffalo Sabres against the New York Islander team battling for playoff position in the Patrick Division. 6 of our 12 ESPN games have gone to OT. I thought it was a couple more, so it's not 75%, it's 50%. Still a lot.
50 now, that's almost half.
Almost half. Almost half.
Using the new math.
That's right. Washington's goals by Miller and Christic, Goulet and Graham for Chicago. Belfour plays it around to Dave Christian, cut off by Bobby Carpenter. Puck's right along the board. Nobody's got a handle on it. Caps take it out. Bondra backhand shot. Didn't get in. Elenick the chance, and he missed it. Pat Elenick did not get the shot on goal. Elenick held it into Hunter. Centered. Bondra and a save made on the tip. Bobby Carpenter tipping the puck up. 2 chances on that shift for him.
Carpenter all tied up by Tiki except the stick. Good offensive zone pressure by the Capitals. Hunter digs the puck out. He takes a backhander that gets blocked here by Russell. And you see Carpenter parked in front of the net. And the puck's going to come to him. Tiki has him. There's Tiki, 43, with Carpenter in front of the net. He has everything except the stick. But Belfour, standing square, standing his ground, is right there for the little tip. And he hangs on to give the Blackhawks an opportunity to win the faceoff. Rutu is going to face off against Pavanka. And of course, Pavanka wants to get this puck back to Cote. And don't forget the big gunner, Iafrate, is out there. If Cote can slip it over, we can look for a rocket coming from number 34.
That's what they'll try and do right here. Cote will try, Pavanka will try and draw on the forehand back to Cote. And you see Gilbert trying to cut across. He's trying to get out there in a hurry to get to Cote. Rutu just wants to draw it back behind him. And he got it back to Cote. Couldn't do anything with it. Chicago Flipped out of the zone by Gilbert. Cote at center ice. 3:37 to go in the overtime. 2-2. Bondra couldn't play that. Tipped up by Marchment to center. Ruutu's got it. Ruutu. Red line tried to get it in. Hit the linesman. Graham gets back onside and sends it into the zone. Ruutu back. Iafrate levels it. On the boards, Gilbert. Gilbert held it in. Centering pass. Graham for the winner. Blocked by Hrivnak. Gilbert trying to center again. Graham tied up by Cote. And a penalty coming up on Sylvain Cote for knocking down Dirk Graham after that last scoring chance. Meanwhile, Iafrate being separated from Ruutu.
Again, Hrivnak comes up with a spectacular save to keep the Capitals in this game. It's next goal wins, guys. The Capitals are not playing with the intensity they have to play with in their own zone. Iafrate does a good job here. He's going to give Ruutu a good shot. They're going for the puck. He's a big, strong guy. He just throws him down. But there's a giveaway. There's no real need for that puck to be passed that quickly by Cote. And now they get in all sorts of trouble. You've got Iafrate behind the net. Cote comes out to Gilbert. Gilbert makes a pass over to Graham. And now the Capitals are running around. Cote's coming in with a hook. And Graham goes down, and Stewart saw it. But Cote could have hung on to that puck. He could have skated the puck out of danger. Again, another sign of a fatigued hockey player.
So the penalty picked up by Sylvain Cote for tripping. 1:51 of the overtime. And here's the power play chance. It could be the game winner for the Chicago Blackhawks. And it'll be cleared up. Blackhawks have not been able to do anything with the power play here in this game. You see they've had only 4 shots on their 4 chances today. Here's a chance to get a W on it. Behind the net, Kelly Johansson had it stripped. Johansson trying to get it back as Hrivnak had knocked it away. Miller, Chelios stepped up and holds it in. Hatcher, Larmer, Chelios back to the point. Kuchera, open shot, wide, rebound, Hrivnak. Jeremy Hrivnak. 2:34 to go in the overtime. Chicago with a power play. Behind the net, Hatcher. Hatcher didn't get it all. Larmer's got it. Larmer's setting it up for the Blackhawks. Kuchera, challenged by Ridley. Back to Larmer. 1:08 on the power play. Larmer. 2:14 in the overtime. Kuchera lost it. Good play. Hrivnak held it in. Chicago looking for that one good chance. Kuchera, the defenseman, has joined the play on the near side post. Larmer back in the corner. Washington just staying back. Hrivnak. Chelios. Chelios, Miller blocked it. Chelios held it in. Johansson clears it out.
Very, very tight, disciplined box by the Washington Capitals. They just stayed in their positions and waited for the Hawks to make a mistake. Excellent penalty killing by the Caps.
29 seconds left on the power play chance. Washington with the second best shorthanded unit in the game. The power play is Chicago, number 21 in the league. They've got 18 seconds left on the advantage. Gilbert, trouble with it. Got it into the zone by Cavallini. Played by Graham. 10 seconds left on the power play. Graham back to Chelios. His shot deflected. Krieger clears, and that'll do it on the power play. The penalty is over. Blackhawks do not convert. 0 for 5. 1:06 to go in the overtime. Marchment in the shot. Didn't get it on net. Dirk Graham to hold it in. 1 minute left in the OT. Game tied 2-2. Kristich coming. 3-on-3. Dmitry Kristich to Krieger. Krieger in. Didn't get the shot. Centering pass. Side of the net. Covered up by Belfour with 47 seconds left in the overtime.
On the rush, Kristich trying to draw 2 Blackhawks to him to give the puck off to Krieger, and did he pay the price for it? He got leveled once he dumped that puck off to the right wing boards. Here he comes. He's got his head up. He's trying to bring the Blackhawks to him. Good play, but keep your head up. Don't watch your pass. And he gets elbowed right in the head, and it's almost a bad play for the Hawks. And there was their one shot. I don't know if that got through or not. It looked like it might have been saved by the right toe of the goaltender Hrivnak, and he's had himself a spectacular game today, Gary.
Great goaltending, great pressure, and still 2-2. NCAA basketball coming right up as soon as this OT is done. Number 17, Michigan State. East Tennessee State. Michigan State at 7-1, led by Mike Peplowski. That's coming up next as soon as we're done with the OT here. Hunter moves in to take the face-off. Hunter won the draw, but he didn't control the puck. Chicago, Dirk Graham for the game winner. Hrivnak, the blocker save. Rebound in. Hrivnak covers it up. Graham got the rebound himself, but backhanded it in on goal.
This is what Chicago wants, an offensive zone face-off. The Caps are a tired team. They feel they can outmuck them along the boards and in the corners at this stage of the game. Although you have big defensemen like Hatcher and Iafrate, if they're tired, it reduces their size and their strength in a confrontational one-on-one. A big face-off coming up here. Certainly Hunter's on the ice for the Capitals, and Sutter's on for the Blackhawks. The two best face-off men for either team today. So this is a good matchup. This is the way it should end with 37 seconds left. We'll see who can win this draw. The winner of this draw may determine the winner of the hockey game.
Personnel being lined up by the respective coaches here. Chicago's had 5 shots on goal in the overtime. Washington only 1. Hrivnak, big third period in particular, and here in overtime. 5 shots in OT is a lot. Taken behind the net by Hatcher. Hunter won the draw, got it out. Chelios sending it right back in. Chicago clearing the zone. 26 seconds. You see the time remaining in this overtime. Hatcher up for Kelly Miller. He's got a man breaking. Couldn't get it to him. Miller in the zone. Held. Kelly Miller tipped it away. Played by Sutter. Sutter. They didn't get it out of the zone. Good play at the point by Kelly Johansson to hold it in. Dave Christian. Miller won't let him get it out. Held in. Hatcher going for the game winner. Tied up by Sutter. Centering pass. Blocked. This game ends in a 2-2 tie.
Not a bad point for either team. Chicago came in limping, especially in their blue line core. They're going to go out of here with a point against a very, very good Washington Capital team, especially here in the Cap Center. The Capitals won the important divisional game yesterday against New Jersey, and for them to get a point here today is still a good weekend for the Washington Capitals.
So the Washington Capitals still here at home, keep their streak alive. They're now 7-0-2 in the last 9 games played here. Chicago continues their good road record. They are now 10-9-2. For Jim Schoenfeld and all of our crew, this is Gary Thorne. Hope you enjoyed it. Our final 2-2.
Gary, thank you very much. The final score from the Caps Center, and as you heard Jim Schoenfeld point out, the Caps unbeaten now at home in 9 games. They'll have Sunday off while Chicago goes home to take on the Winnipeg Jets tomorrow night at Chicago Stadium. And with the 1 point, Al, the Caps, who were started out so slowly, continue to climb up the divisional ladder.
They do continue to climb, and they got a good game from I guess he's a backup goaltender who was a starter for a long time, Hrivnak. That's a good sign for them. Maybe playing 2 consecutive days, they tire a little. I thought Chicago outplayed them as the game went on. Chicago, I think, takes a little more out of this because they came in, beat up, get a point on the road. However, you'll take the one if you're Washington the way things started this year.
And you can look at how each team got their point today. We talked about Washington's special teams. Penalty killing, they held Chicago off the board. They scored a power play goal and really played a pretty good special teams game. Chicago, we talked about them keeping the shots down. They got their point for the tie today because they kept the shots down. And how did they do that? Terrific man-to-man coverage, especially in the third period. And we've got to look at some of it. And even when a guy like Calle Johansson pinches in from the blue line, you can see Blackhawk right on him. Mike Ridley looks at his check. He knows that's going to tighten up. But Chicago really good in behind the goal. Check it out. I mean, this is Velcro man-to-man. You can't get any tighter than this. And when the play comes out to the blue line, Chicago still reacts. They know that Washington is going to stand in, try to keep the play alive, but check this out. I mean, look at Hrivnak. He is right there on Mike Ridley. You can see Lauer out there on Hatcher, and a third guy, Dirk Graham, circling back in as a safety valve. And that's man-to-man at its best, and that's how you hold a team like Washington to 19 shots during regulation. That's all they got.
2-2 the final score is the Caps and the Blackhawks skate to the tie. One team that's struggling in the NHL of late, the LA Kings. They may be getting some much-needed help on the way. Could the great one be just around the corner coming back to the ice? We'll discuss that in a moment.
This National Hockey Night Special is presented by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
You always get your money's worth here on National Hockey Night, well, at least half of the time. We've gone to overtime in 6 of our 12 games. We just ended another overtime affair. The Blackhawks and the Capitals skating to a 2-2 tie. We're down to Los Angeles. Well, there's two things. First of all, the Kings haven't won a game in their last 10, but Wayne Gretzky may be back sooner than even he expected. He is now targeting Saturday, January 16th. That's 2 weeks from today, to come back to the lineup. And we will have, of course, the Kings on our National Hockey Night on Saturday the 23rd at home against the New York Rangers. And, Al, I got to tell you, the Kings could use a good dose of the great one the way they're playing right now.
They could. It seems like only literally a week or two ago we're talking about, boy, would Wayne's return hurt them? They're playing so well. Now they kind of hit a rough spot. A lot of guys out of their lineup anyway. I should think, though, before you plan on seeing him on the 16th, let him get some full contact practices with a team that hits a lot more than it did than the last team he left in Los Angeles. I'm not so sure that's a fixed date.
Well, I think it's also important when Wayne does come back to understand how tough this is going to be. It's not going to be easy. In that sense, I don't think he has to look at himself as the guy that has to do it all for the LA Kings. For that matter, I don't think his coach and his teammates should look at him the same way. I think Wayne has to kind of see himself as a guy that can complement all of the positive things that have happened so far to the Kings and then try to get his game around, because it's not going to be easy.
Well, let me ask both of you. If you're Coach Barry Melrose, how do you react to all this? You knew that your team was going to hit a bump along the long regular season, but how do you react to Gretzky coming back?
Well, obviously, I think it's a great plus if I'm Barry Melrose, especially the way the team is going now. I don't think you redefine the way you're playing, however. I think that he's got these guys hitting, playing physical hockey, and I think Gretzky's return is easier because of it. I don't think you just change gears right in the middle and say, okay, we've got Gretzky, we're playing a whole different offensive system. It won't work that way.
All right, well, the Kings will be in action tonight at the Forum in Inglewood, hosting the Montreal Canadiens, trying to get off the schneid, and we'll have the Kings, hopefully with Gretzky, on National Hockey Night, coming up January 23rd against the New York Rangers. We'll be back with more as we head toward the top of the hour in a moment. Halfway point of the long 84-game NHL regular season. Who are the scoring leaders? Well, there's Mario and everyone else. No, Pat LaFontaine's having a great year, but it's unbelievable. Mario Lemieux is way out ahead. Oates, Sundin, and Sakic. Look at that duo for the Quebec Nordiques. No wonder they're leading the Adams division. The goal-scoring leaders, again, it's Mario, but it's a lot closer here in this department. Alexander Mogilny of Buffalo, only 4 behind. Pavel Bure of Vancouver. Kevin Stevens of Pittsburgh, despite missing several games early on. And Luc Robitaille, 30 goals for the LA Kings, although he has cooled off of late. Those will look at the scoring and goal-scoring leaders in the NHL. Some final words coming your way on National Hockey Night's matinee edition in a moment.
De La Hoya faces Alexander when Top Rank Boxing moves to Sunday nights at 9 Eastern, live on ESPN.
National Hockey Night returns in 6 days. The Islanders at the Sabres, 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific from the Aud in Buffalo. Before we leave you, Tom Measle with Bill Clement and Al Morganti. And Al, when LaFontaine and the Sabres play the Islanders, some old friends coming to town.
Sure, the Islanders coming in to see Patty LaFontaine. He's, of course, a big gun up there. But Alexander Mogilny, 3 hat-tricks in the last 9 games. I think now that people realize he might actually pass the puck, he's more of a threat.
Yeah, the mistake teams make against Buffalo is they try to run and gun. You can't run and gun against LaFontaine and Mogilny, especially if you're the New York Islanders. The New York Islanders are a little banged up offensively. They're going to have to tighten it down against those guys.
Well, it should be a good matchup, though, from the Aud in Buffalo. Mark it down next Friday. National Hockey Night, the Islanders at Buffalo, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific Time. For Al Morganti, for Bill Clement, I'm Tom Mees. Again, Happy New Year, everyone. 2-2, our final from the Capitol Center. The Blackhawks and the Caps. Let's take a look at some of today's big plays on our way to college hoops.